then.
And you'll in a world of legendary moments will be captured. So stand up, scream, and make sure the boys feel you.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
We're back again with Cowboys Daily, brought to you by Miller Lite here in Oxnard, California, where the Cowboys arrived on Tuesday. The official start to camp is on Wednesday, and also they will start practicing on Thursday. The Cowboys know that they have to recover from that disappointing playoff loss to the Packers, the way the 2023 season ended, and Cowboys corner Jordan Lewis addressed that.
Those kinds of things.
It's the Cowboys, bro. I mean, it's always going to be that, but at the same time, we have a job to do, and that's to win. So we always expect to win, and that's what we want to go out there and prove that we can do, is go out there and win.
Join us again Thursday, July 25th, for our next Cowboys Daily.
And I'll tell you a little story.
Well, good evening, everybody. Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the Mailman, with Loyal Cowboy and Primetime Phil in the house. It all starts tomorrow, baby. It all starts tomorrow. Good evening, gentlemen. How are yous?
Good.
Doing great, man. I honestly was trying to rush up, and I was like, Brian, man, I'm on my way. I didn't want you to.
I'm good, man. Either way, whatever. I send you the email, and
hey, man, my face is plastered on the thumbnail, so I take that shit seriously.
Okay, all right, I got you.
I told you I'm back, Brian. I'm not making any excuses.
I actually didn't send everything until late, so I wouldn't have been surprised if nobody showed up. But I did reach out to a couple. We're gonna have a decent amount of people in the Zoom call, so
nice.
They
Curtis
will be on. So
What's going on, Curtis, Lady Libra, Joe? How y'all doing tonight?
Arturo, what's going on, man?
What's
up,
going
Twiz?
on, everybody?
Jeff Lee.
The angry Cowboy fan.
Is he in the house? What's up, my man? It was good. It was good. I hope I didn't over talk last night, bro. But when you first do something with somebody, Phil, you know how that goes. It's like you don't want to have any lag. So like the second your guest stops talking, you want to go right in there. It's just that's kind of how I am. Me and Phil actually. We've perfected
it over
it.
the year.
Yeah, because it's
the
kind of
beginning
like,
wasn't so.
We'll talk over each other, but then like one of us will stop, and then we'll try and pick back up. Probably.
Well, and it depends. Like we've also talked where we all, as we're talking, we want the other one to shout out people as well, and so don't get distracted.
That's very weird. I know
well.
people get annoyed at that. I think sometimes, or my guests, it'll be like, hey Joe, and you're in the middle of your thought. You just got to learn how to stick with your thought because I don't have all the bells and whistles, so I want to get to as many people as I can. So anyway, listen, we are on the precipice. Now, I do have a question up there. We could switch it up throughout the night, but how long do you think he's going to hold out for? And we'll start out with that. Listen, I'm not trying to be negative.
Hope they trade his ass.
See, I don't want that.
No, I'm messing.
I don't want that. I love me some.
I want to sign him. I want to sign him.
He's the best slot
it could be
receiver in the
halfway
league.
through it. It could be almost 1 week before the regular season. It could be anything, man. Like these guys, like at least, at least I think the body of work has shown that he has improved. Rookie year, a couple years where he was with Amari Cooper, his footwork definitely improved. His route running improved. So there are things about his game that I really don't like. But, when you're talking about, each team needs an elite receiver, at least a guy that is their number one. I think he's proven it more, especially more recently, that he can have that weight on his shoulders, and they just need to use him right,
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. In order for us to get where we want, and I want some glory hole, in order for that to happen, we need all hands on deck. You know what I'm saying, Jerry?
Mm-hmm. There it was. Glory hole.
And there it was. Glory hole. We need some glory hole, people. Pause. Some serious
Glory day, glory hole.
Glory
That's all we got.
days.
All we got is glory day, glory hole. And now
Did
you know,
y'all watch the Dan Sileo show with Mark?
I did.
Philly 500 has a good point. Like, we're gonna pay Dak 60 million, we're gonna pay Micah 40, we're gonna pay CD like over 35 million. Come on, that can we really do that as a franchise?
I mean, you can do it if you're paying everybody else crap.
You can. Actually, you can. Because look what the Eagles are doing, Wade. Eagles are paying Devontae Smith. They're paying Walker. Who am I thinking of? Who's the other guy? A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert, and Saquon Barkley. They could absolutely do it, Wade, and I'm telling you they can do it.
And their offensive line, they've been paying them
They
as
can
well, too.
structure it easily.
So it's
and see, here's the thing. I don't mind paying Agar CD and Dak. My biggest thing, I do not want to pay Micah $40 million. I don't. He's not, unless you're a Reggie White or a Aaron Donald. I can't sign you for $40 million.
You could if you already had a defense established and you needed that piece, and maybe the Micah is that piece, and then teams are willing probably more to pay for that. It's hard when you're the one that drafted him. You're not really been able to utilize him correctly. His sack numbers have been going up each year. I mean, that's a positive. It's just, can his body withstand all that big man, let's say gameplay throughout his career? I mean, is he going to be able to last the long haul if you give him a big contract?
Jamal Griffith, man, did Mark get worked over today? Oh my God, that was tough. And Mark,
and all I'm saying is, look, what do y'all prefer What do y'all prefer game time? What would you prefer? A more a bigger build defensive lineman who can rush the passer and get to him every time and play the run, or a Micah Parsons that all he does is rush the passer?
Deal.
That's all he does.
This is what, and I want Wade.
I want to answer this too here.
Yes, but I'm gonna answer that with a question to Wade, and I want Phil and Loyal's opinion on this. I don't even think it's close, people. And people are going to think that I don't like Micah. I love Micah Parsons. That's the thing. I love the player. I love everything. Not everything, but I love the player. But if you went to Cleveland today, Wade, and said, okay, even swap Micah for Myles Garrett, don't you think we would have to sweeten the pot?
Probably.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I know it's off the
because
top of the
Myles
head.
Garrett rushes the passer better than Micah, and he plays the run.
That's what I'm saying. On paper, off the top of my head, I would think, oh, shit, we're going to have to sweeten the pot. Now, again, there's already salaries, but Mike is coming there knowing that he wants a new deal. So, again, you know what you're getting with Myles Garrett. He's already won Defensive MVP of the Year. He already stops the run. He's already a beast in pass rush. He already plays a full season. He's not undersized. Why wouldn't we have to add? Now, and that goes to Loyal and Phil. Just because I like Myles Garrett better, and I'm only bringing up Myles Garrett because Micah wants to reset the market, and I'm saying why? Why are we resetting the market for anybody? You want to be a part of the Cowboys, bro? You're going to make a lot of money. Why would you want that with the Cowboys? But again, they don't care. They want what they're going to.
And you know what, Brian? I agree with, people hate Rob Parker. I agree with his assessment on paying players. You don't pay the position. You pay the player for their production and what they've done and accomplished. I agree with him on that. I don't agree with breaking the bank on Trevor Lawrence and a lot of these guys. I don't agree with it. It sets your franchise back. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, I think franchises like Jacksonville can do that just because you're not paying anybody else really on your roster. Dallas, we just can't afford to do this. I think if it was ideally, any kind of Cowboys fan, they would want to draft, of course, and then you signing those contracts with weaknesses that you have. Like, oh, okay, all of a sudden we don't have a defensive tackle. We've been preaching about how if we would have signed one of those big guys that's their weakness, you're saving that money. Okay, wide receiver may not be one of the biggest weaknesses that we have.
Marcus?
But I can see solidifying him. I just don't like. I don't think there's any argument with CD. I think we're all kind of in a thing that we're okay with keeping CD. But Micah, I would probably agree with you too. I would trade his ass, and I would rather get 3 guys.
If I could sign with $40 million, if I could take that and sign a beast defensive lineman and like a really, really good linebacker, I'd put all that money towards that.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree with you.
Loyal,
totally
what do you think about that? Am I wrong in thinking that Myles Garrett would have more value?
Yes, because he's a true tight end. I mean, true defensive end. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
Micah Parsons is a linebacker. They put him at, he just happens to play edge.
See, that's what goes into my next question, because I have a strong feeling that Zimmer is going to actually use Micah at linebacker. Now, he's not going to play your traditional. He's going to be more like your rushing linebacker, moving all around. Zimmer likes to stand guys up. He likes to bring guys from the A-gap. Just think, if you got D-Law and you got Marshawn Nealon, who's going to be D-Law's backup on that side, you got Sam Williams. Yeah. You have options, and every once in a while, I think you're going to see him play linebacker. And is he going to be mad at that because it may take away from his stats?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, he likes playing edge.
Does he?
But was he pissed? Like, what are you putting him a linebacker to do? Are you putting him to rush the center? Is he rushing the center?
Every once in a while,
I think he was very successful against centers and guards. I mean, I think he had more success against them than he had against the tackles. I mean, usually every team has top tackles, and he was usually going against those guys. They weren't rotating him around too much. I think Brian's right. Zimmer is smart enough to at least want to rotate this guy around to where you can't predict you can't go a whole practice for a whole week and go, whoa, you're going to play Micah out there, and we don't want it to be predictable.
Yeah, Twiz says
think Zimmer's going to be a lot. I think Zimmer's going to be a lot better, like as far as like defending the run.
Developing.
I think he's going to be really good, but again,
but he needs more than 1 year. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's what's frustrating.
People forget. Look back over 20 years. He had the #1 defense with a bunch of known names. Just saying, like.
Yeah. Well, no. He's come in there. He's come in and proven that he can, make a top. I'm just saying that, because he needs to get his guys in here. Let's be real. And so one season,
we got to give him a few years.
Yeah, to get guys in here. I mean, again, defensive tackle. I think that's just the embarrassment right now.
Like what Zimmer had said was, normally he's coming into a team that needs a lot of talent. He's walking into a very talented defense. Yeah. It's not perfect, as we pointed out. Now, latest I saw from Broadus, this morning I watched a little bit of it. They are looking at one techniques, the Buffalo free agent, as well as the Los Angeles Chargers. I'll have to Google the names, but they're both one techniques. I think that will be addressed at some point. But surprisingly enough, Mozzie Smith is ready to go. So that's a big deal. We got, Denzel Jackson, we got Justin Rogers, we got Osa Odigizua. Twiz.
Question: is he really ready to go, or is he ready to go? He's like ready to play, or is he ready to go? Like, we need his ass to go. This is the year. This needs to be exactly.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, exactly. Brad. We need him to be kicking some ass. I don't want no. Oh yeah,
I want to apologize. I want to apologize by game 5 or 6. I'm sorry for doubting you and your power.
Who?
Mozzie
Smith. I'm hoping that
Yeah, right. That would be nice, right? If Mozzie actually did something, So. Thanks for the super chat, Twiz. We're up to $18, so we need 50.
What's up, Brad?
50 some dollars. I don't know. 50.
Check goes fast.
My math skills. 75, 65, $57 away.
Boom.
$57 away from a drawing. Brad, I always acknowledge you, bro. You were in here, I acknowledged you.
Who dis?
Man, I'm trying to get to Pink's mobile food truck for training camp. I don't know, man. The way Mark's talking, the way he got ate up today, I don't know that he's going to make it to training camp. He may just dodge big sills. Then again, it's all fake, man. I just can't with Philly 500. I'm sorry. I know I have a lot of Eagles fans in here. The shit that comes out of his mouth, I know he knows the game, but when it comes to Dallas, it's all BS, man. It's all BS.
I mean, I could literally do a tirade on Philadelphia Eagles. I don't want to go there with Philly 500. I mean, he defends his team, but his team has fallen short so many times, and he talks about we're the chokers. That's all he does. Cowboys choke season.
Again, I just don't.
All I'm saying is, damn, the Eagles choked every year up until recently, and that was, 7 years ago.
Yeah, 7 years ago. And then, listen, I'm going to say, listen, wait, I'll take it a step further. Eagles have been under McNabb. They won a lot of playoff games. So I'm really not going to go there. But I understand where you're coming from. I'm not. I give them their credit. They've won a lot, but ultimately they've won one. So thank you for the content, gentlemen, making the time at work go faster. Marcus, thank you.
Mine just came back on.
You all right,
just came
Thomas?
back on, man. His just came back on.
What just came back on?
Oh, no, his just came back on.
I know. I keep hearing it.
Oh, no, my big screen TV at home.
Mm-hmm. Drew, what's up, fam? Just responded to you on TikTok. Okay, cool. What's up, Drew? Drew's working, so he's on a different floor, I believe. Everyone, game time. Do you believe that Detroit Lions have it to go to the next level Super Bowl? I do, Arturo. I do.
I think they got a really good team. They did lose some stuff. They did add some really good pieces as well too. So it's interesting. I think they're right there. They're contenders, right?
Yeah, I think so. What's up, Kid Cowboy? What's
going to happen with San Francisco with Ayuk? I'm interested. Is he going to play for? I think he's going to play for San Francisco. I think he's going to eventually need to shut up and just play.
Well, yeah, he's going to play if he wants to get paid. Like the way the rules are, you can't
at least
hold
go
out.
through your
That's why I'm really surprised with Hassan Reddick is doing with the Jets because,
dude, it just seems like a new area you would want to. I don't know, man. It's just you're not starting out correctly.
So, what's up, Loyal? You good or what, bro?
I was reading something on Facebook.
It's we got to be realistic. I mean, like the team, this team, I can't see how this team is like better overall than last year's team. I just like.
I think I think there's certain pieces that were better,
especially if
overall,
Guyton,
no.
Especially if Guyton falls flat on his face and isn't as good. Like he needs to come out the box decent. If we don't have a good left tackle, Dak might be in trouble.
Yeah. You know what? Like with
I don't know, man, because you have so many things you can do with it. You can shift Tyler Smith to left tackle. You can put so many people in the guard position. Terrence Steele doing shitty. Maybe put Guyton over the right tackle where he's natural.
Tyler Smith might be at left tackle. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he's at left tackle at some time this year.
You have at least answers for it. I think that is, you didn't have that last year. What are we going to do with Tyrone Smith? Remember that answer every single freaking year?
So here's the thing. What'll be bad? Okay, we didn't do anything in free agency. If Mozzie Smith this year literally sucks and Tyler Guyton makes zero impact, that'll be 2 first-round draft picks in a row that weren't any good.
Well, I mean, you're going off of their rookie year as well, too. And what are they going against? I mean, okay, Tyler Guyton against Myles Garrett. How do you think he's going to do?
When you draft someone in the first round, you need to make an immediate impact on your team.
Well, look at Terrence Steele's rookie year.
And he will, but
and he was undrafted. He looked like ass, but the second year he came out.
We had him in the second round as well, too. So, I mean, I
think it's like but we also got to realize, though, our draft last year was bad. This year's draft cannot be bad. You can't have two back-to-back drafts that are terrible.
When I look at the offensive lineman, I look at BB as a better offensive lineman than Guyton, and that has nothing to do
making an immediate impact. And here's the thing: worst case scenario, if Guyton ain't ready, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they put Hoffman at center, move Tyler Smith over to left tackle, and maybe put BB at guard.
Yeah, you could do that, or you put
I could see that.
Bass. Yeah,
but we don't know how Tyler Guyton's going to do. I'm not saying he's going to be bad.
Or Big Sarge 31. Sorry, my man. Big Sarge 31 has a good point about the CD. I have my my poll question. CeeDee Lamb, because it's his rookie deal, the Cowboys can rescind the fine
Okay. Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. So that's
it'll be like a Ezekiel Elliott type of deal. They'll wait till the last minute. Sorry, Thomas.
Oh no, you good. You good. You ain't do nothing.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he's going to be in soon. But, whatever. Here's the deal, and I'll get to Dak in a minute, and I don't want to make this a show with Dak, but as we're going into training camp, we'll talk about whatever anybody wants to talk about. But, CeeDee Lamb, it's an easy deal. He gets a notch below Justin Jefferson. Done.
Just a guarantee, right?
It's he's a notch below Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson's been putting up numbers for 4 years. CD he set team records last year, but I think he needs to know his role. And again, here's my question to you guys. And I'm not saying I don't want CD. I've already said I want him, but if you're CeeDee Lamb, do you have to say, well, who's my quarterback? I guess he's going to take his money and then worry about who's here. I guess like Justin Jefferson, right? He wanted Kirk Cousins, and he's gone.
I think if you're looking out for yourself like that, I don't think you have any room to tell who you want to keep and stuff like that. But I
mean, it's kind of like I guess he would probably want to have Dak, but maybe not. You heard all the comments about his family getting all pissy. You really want to know what's going on behind doors, because CD's never came out and said, that's my quarterback, that's my teammate, that type of stuff. So it'll be interesting, man. Only the Cowboys. We can't go into a camp like everybody else. Now, the Niners do have an issue. Niners have Trent Williams holding out for more money. So
again, I was like, ooh.
We're not the only team. The Jets, obviously, with Hassan Reddick. You got Alvin Kamara kind of running his mouth about stupid shit. And now he comes out today, I want to be a Saint. Well, then shut your mouth, bro. I don't get it.
I'm surprised by Gallup retiring.
Right.
I thought he would at least push through the season. But no, I guess, he's just like, no, man, forget this. At least I can get out of my contract. Adams can't get out of his contract. It's just, I think that's the biggest loophole of them all. You got Adams that went over there and was thinking that he was going to team up with Carr, and then they did that whole thing with Carr, and now he's just sitting there like with a huge contract.
Maybe that ACL was a little worse than he thought.
Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it. I don't think he was ever the same. I believe he tore that thing a third time, but I could be wrong. I know it's at least twice, but I thought I heard where he tore that thing early on in his career, maybe in high school or something. But regardless, he lost the love of it. And once you start talking about retirement, you might as well retire. So
what's up with Diggs? Are they just doing this as a precaution?
Yes.
Having them sit out? Or?
Yes, that's what you want, people. I'll hear Wade and Phil's opinion, but I think
I want him to be ready to go week 1, but at the same time,
Mark's getting way carried away with the Diggs.
I'm hoping he has a clipboard so he can actually see what's going on with Zimmer's defense.
Yeah. Well, he's in the classroom. But I think Mark gets way carried away when he starts talking about our left tackle not being there game 1. Again, you don't want to get anybody killed. I have a different look at it. They're not going to put him day 1 in training camp. I would, because to me,
he starts out number 3, right?
Is a shit show.
Yeah, he is.
So it's like if you had anybody competent, I would put him ahead. I would say Tyler Guyton, it's your job until you lose it. Like I was telling Angry Cowboy fan last night. Go, run with it. And let's see what he does. And then you have a ass veteran like Udoga, or emergency situation. We do what Phil said and slide Tyler. And now you have the one thing we have, guys, is a glutton of interior offensive linemen. I'm telling you, we are stacked at the guard position. We are too deep, on either side, or, if you want to go swing. We got TJ Bass. We got Cooper Beebe as of right now, who's not starting either.
And Beebe's played tackle as well. Let's be real.
So, I think.
I'm not saying that's where I want him at, but, there's options there.
Yeah.
If worst case scenario, I put him at right guard. Or left guard,
Yeah.
And then move Tyler Smith over because, him at left tackle, he would get blown up.
But here's the deal. I just want my 5 best out there. I'm sorry, Tyler, but I think I think it's going to be Guyton. I really do. Now, I think you got.
I think he's going to surprise us.
I think you need to run. I think you need to run a little 12 personnel, or you need to make sure you chip with a tight end. You just gotta have to do that. You can't do a Chaz Green all over against,
Oh my God.
He's coming out week 1 against the best defensitive player in the league, Micah. Sorry, bro. It's true. Myles Garrett. So what if I'm a rookie, wouldn't you want to come out against the best? I would have, I don't know. I've always been like, I want to play somebody's best, to see where I stack up. And then obviously we're going to give him help, but Jimmy Udoka almost got Dak killed against Miami last year. So
and that was not against the #1 defensive end in the league either.
Yeah. Marcus Blackman, I want to see what Trey Lance has to offer. Expect him to get major playing time in preseason. Yeah, Marcus.
Oh, big stars. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. He says you will see how CD's window is when it gets that new contract. Yeah, sometimes he has done that. That's what I talk about with him. Sometimes he has where he hasn't come back to the ball, or he's not taking those if it's not hitting him in stride. So it's just, is he maybe that he's looking out for himself, where he's not I'm not going for this pass or stuff, where he was taking a couple of hits, getting upended. And so, yeah, I'm interested to see that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Irvin talking like just blow this whole thing up. Hey, they ain't signed no one. If they're going to blow it up, you need to blow it up after this year. You can't do it now. You got to wait till this next offseason.
Well, I mean, you're in a position now, the next thing, and it's going to be, it's going to open up, even if you are in a position
to blow it up. That's the
thing is, that's what we're about to say. It's like, even if you re-signed, you're still going into next year in a great situation.
Everybody wants to. Yeah. Go ahead, Loyal.
The question is, who's going to be our head coach next year?
Well, let's see about halfway through the season,
or who's going to be our next coach? That's.
I think we just got to worry about this year. I mean, he could sign a 5-year contract and be gone the next year. Let's be real. This is the NFL. So, I really wouldn't worry about that. I tend to see McCarthy, Dak, anytime it's been prove it years, their career has shown that they've actually done better in those years. I think the only one that's, maybe that counters that would be Dak injuring himself on one of the contract years. But otherwise, every other one, he's been pretty lights out. And his franchise tags, he's pretty lights out. It just, again, playoff things, right? That's always going to be the Achilles heel.
The meatloaf! Fuck!
It's always about the meatloaf to me. If the meatloaf is good, then I'll be in a good mood. All their asses gotta go. Mike Irvin, what's up, Lee?
But at least get some value out of it. Get some picks out of it. They've shown that
blow it up. You got to get some value.
I'm not worried about the first.
Blowing it up, boys. I'm sorry to tell you.
Well, no. We know we're not doing that.
I'm saying next year.
Michael Irvin better be careful about blowing it up, because if you remember back in 2018, Troy Aikman said that same shit on Thanksgiving Day against Washington, and we went on something like a 6 or 7 game winning streak after that.
Yeah,
better be careful.
Again, barring injury, we're way too talented to finish with 5-6 wins. We just are. I laugh when I hear that, and it's funny because Big Sills is calling for 7 wins for the Eagles. He don't say that in front of Mark, and I texted Mark literally 3 times. And I mean, he's either ignoring me or he just wants to be the heel and get stomped on by Philly 500.
Game time, Big Sills is nothing but a hype man. That's all he is.
But when you got Philly 500 laughing at you, and the vulgar things that were in Jacob Sports, the vulgar things they were saying about Mark was uncalled for. We're talking name calling, how he looks, and this and that. I'm sorry, man. Enough is enough. Mark, they need Mark more than Mark needs them. I mean, listen, I'm not going to discuss why Mark's on that show. It makes sense careful. To Mark.
Mark will fool around and snap on their ass.
Well, if Mark loses,
I like Big Sills. I don't like the people that are in the chat and all that.
I like Big Sills, and when I meet him in Dallas,
Big Sills, he's cool. He's cool.
But he's stirring the gravy, as Twiz likes to say. And I see Twiz lighting his ass up. But again, it's not about him. It's about the negativity in that chat is just ridiculously bad. And there he is, Mark. I was very upset when I heard some of the shit they were saying about Mark in that chat. It's disrespectful. The fact that they allow it, I don't know if Xander is in the back allowing these things.
He actually did. He actually posted that super chat for a quick second and then took it down.
Shit is,
and I'm like, that's just not even cool, not necessary.
And it's not even necessarily Eagle fans. It's anybody that hates Mark Holmes or the other guy that I won't give any, airtime who's got 1,000 things. That's my problem. I don't care the Philly 500. I don't think Philly 500 believes half the shit he says. He knows the game, but he knows how to push the buttons. I think that chat was, I was getting pissed, and I was on my driving section. It's pouring down rain, and I'm like, fucking Mark, tell him, just tell Philly the Big Sill says they're going to win 7. It doesn't matter with Big Sill. I don't think Eagles are going to win 7 games. I think they're going to win more than 7, but it's not the point. For the sake of the argument, it's just that's the way that show is set up for Mark to be the heel and take it. But again, Big Sills needs Mark. That show goes through the roof when Mark goes on there. And Philly, it's not just Mark, but they work well together. I just don't like the chat. The chat part bothers me, people. I got mad at a kid Cowboy last night. Again, there's no need to be disrespectful to anybody. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Nobody deserves to be called a name here, right? We're just having fun. We're doing our content.
Yeah, we're just having fun.
We can have a disagreement. Game time. But, I enjoy Mark Combs' channel so much. It brings me a lot of joy. League Commander, and you're a Commander fan, and I appreciate you. I shout you out a lot. Again, Mark gets testy. He'll come in my chat and just start effing off people.
Say what y'all want to about Mark, people. He's a good man, everyone. He's a good man. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Just because he loves Dak, he wants Dak to win a Super Bowl does not mean it doesn't mean he's and lower. It doesn't mean he's lower or stupid. That's just what he believes in.
And I say this,
he's a good man.
Would this other guy or whatever that's with Philly 500, would they drive across town?
You don't know.
Would they drive across town if an Eagles fan passed away and do what Mark and Game Time and them did? Probably not. So, they could just go shut the F up. I mean, trying to
Loyal, I agree.
Personal attacks.
Well, I don't know if
I guarantee they would.
I don't know if I agree with you there because I don't know. But I will say that's one thing that I do, and pretty much when we wrap up our chats is, I say good show fam, because I just looked at this as family, because that's respect to see how they did that, drive down to Texas, do their thing, give that support, give those prayers up, stuff like that. It's more than sports. It's more than football at that point. It's about people, and that's respect. That's respect.
No, Drew, you weren't there, bro. They were being indignant, and they'll do that with me on occasion. But Mark is at 10 times the level. They're you're talking about his hair, whatever. It's just disgusting. So again, that's not called for, but I'll just leave it at that, because then it gets out of control. Listen, man, at the end of the day, this is a sport. Why did Philly 500 have sunglasses on anyway? I'm just confused. Did he say? I don't know, bro. He's dodging me all of a sudden. He said, yeah, I'm coming on your show. I'm coming on the show. Now he went, maybe his partner, because his partner don't like me. So I guess whatever. I guess I passed him in subscribers, so he's got to bug up. I don't know, but whatever. Philly 500 may or may not come on the show at some point. I know Cop Pizzle, I talked to him. He wants to come on, but I'm not just gonna bring him on to bring him on. Maybe we'll do some sort of roundtable where him and Mark Holmes can go at it. That would be fun. He doesn't want to see how. Oh God, see Arturo, that's not nice. I'm not gonna repeat that. Mr. RV, my guy. Lou Branch, you don't what they do. Everybody doesn't look at Mark as their godfather. It's not about looking. Lou, I would never call you disgusting or this or dirty or.
Yeah, man. The way people disrespect Mark and talk crap about him, y'all are, dude.
That's crazy. And me
this
and
is
Mark
football.
disagree a
We're
lot.
talking about football. I don't agree with everything Mark says, but damn, people, y'all take this shit over the top.
Over the top.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Some people are just ignorant, you know.
Drew,
Yeah,
Drew, I don't think Mark blocked you, but Mark, I know you're in the chat. If you're on your computer, Drew's saying that he can't be going on your channel. There's no reason to block him. So if he is blocked, please unblock him. But anyway, let's
Drew,
get back
did you say
to
something
football.
about Dak? Is that why he blocked you?
I don't think Mark would do that unless he spammed Dak sucks, Dak sucks, Dak sucks, and then he might do it. But I think maybe it was one of his. Sometimes it's weird, and you'll see, Drew, when you start your channel. Sometimes it's weird where I won't block I never block anybody, but sometimes it'll click on to block. I don't know. There's really not
Ultra
even a
Cowboy.
button. Yeah,
I had that for a while. Remember?
Yeah, and we didn't do anything. I'm a grown ass man like me. I'm not. I don't care. That's on you. What? I don't care for me. That's what? I'm a grown ass man like me, or not. I don't care for me. That's on you. Oh, okay. Yeah, but you don't want to be called names, do you? Dick? Oh, sorry. I'm just joking. Mark blocks so many people. I don't think he does, Joey. But again, am I blocked tonight? No, Kid Cowboy. We see you, bro. You are here live. But
Mark Mark blocks people because he's tired of y'all's shit.
I just try and keep it real.
And then plus, Mark ain't gonna block you unless you really just say something real stupid.
But all right,
either that or he's on one.
Yeah.
On one.
Let's circle back. Let's talk a training camp. It starts tomorrow. I don't know exactly what they're going to do tomorrow. Did they do we know if they changed the press conference at all? Do we know? It's still
the press conference. Yeah, because it usually be on Thursday.
Yeah, well, he had to. I actually had somebody get mad at me, Quentin. I'm sorry, Quentin, but he got mad at my morning video because he's saying that maybe we need the old Jerry Jones back who was spreading the seed. You know, I said maybe we need the '90s Jerry Jones who was hooking up, and he has baby mamas running around.
Maybe we need the '90s Cowboys, back. We need the Cowboys to get back on cocaine and White House.
Yeah, the White House needs to reopen, I think. League commander, game time, Mark Holmes can make Cowboys problems that look like a tsunami coming to it only being a tropical storm. Listen, at the end of the day, we ain't winning 5 games, people. I'm sorry. Unless there's major injury, we ain't going away. We're too talented. I laugh because people who aren't Cowboy fans don't realize the amount of people we lost to ACLs last year on the offensive side of the ball. DeMarvion Overshown. We did what we did with friggin' one linebacker, for crying out loud. Damone Clark. It's going to be a
lonely ass linebacker.
It's going to be a big upgrade. Now, again, D tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, I get you, but it's not like we don't have D tackles. We just don't have that traditional one technique yet. We have young guys, Justin Rogers, Denzel Daxon. Those are the rookies. We got Mozzie Smith, who has a lot to prove, but from what I'm hearing, they're going to get at least one. So we'll see. We'll see. That's brilliant. We got Osa Odigizua, who's on a contract year, who's better than average. I believe he made a Pro Bowl, but I could be wrong. Maybe he was.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he made the Pro Bowl.
Odigizua did.
Yes, he is
last year.
I don't know about
because
last
everybody
year. I
kept dropping out.
Before.
Yeah, I think it was the year before. But Drew, what's going on, man? How you doing? How's work? Good.
It's work.
Yeah,
you just got me on a different station, so I don't have the flexibility that I know.
Yeah, I'm very Yeah, I know, my man. Lou Branch, exactly. So why complain about trolls, Joey? Because it's my show, and I want to complain. It's a different. I'm just telling you, I was in the chat, and there was a bunch of people, and I didn't find it fun. But hey, if it doesn't bother Mark, then that's on him. I have.
I saw the show earlier with Dan, and look, people can be stupid. Eagles fans, Cowboys,
ridiculous.
Let's just keep it. Yeah. My thing is let's not hold anybody to a different standard. Like Mark Holmes should be held to the same standard that
But if he don't care, then that's then fine. I mean, he does come in here and
but I'm
have
just saying,
my guys off.
Let's
So
not, let's not always make
call
fun.
him a dirtball. I think
let's
it's
not
rude.
just kiss the ring. Yeah, I think if we're having fun, but let's not just kiss the ring because he's Mark. Mark, the Godfather. He may be your Godfather, but he's just another football fan, just like me. Respectfully, Mark has done.
Yeah, but if anybody called you some of the names they called Mark, I would block their ass. Like last night, I'm not going to get into it.
Name,
last night, Kid Cowboys said some rude things.
Or something crazy, then like blocking is for suckers for me. You know what I mean? I know what I'm signing. If it's nothing racial or nothing like that, I mean, call me what you want. I don't care.
All I was saying, Mark, because he's in here. All I was saying is I didn't like it, but I'm different than you. That's all. That's all. I'm a little more sensitive. It has nothing to do with him being the Godfather, not me. Like we go back at it. Me and him go at it back and forth. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to call anybody a name. Bored loser doesn't mean shit to me.
The Godfathers of Dallas Cowboy content on YouTube with Shango and Mike Mosh and the TTC back in like the early 2000s. That's the Godfather of Cowboys content and trash talk in the trash talk circle.
It's just a figure of speech. There's nothing, again, it's just he's the one that got me into YouTube. So again, I owe Mark a lot. So that's all. That's all I'm saying. You guys can do whatever you want. I took it as a personal affront that somebody wasn't stepping in. Even super chats I was seeing that were coming in that was over the line. But let's move on.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too.
Yeah.
And real quick,
that's kind of crazy.
Right. And Mark has done a tremendous job, and he needs to be respected. He needs to be applauded for the work that he's done and the success that he's accomplished. But all I'm saying is just because he's used that accomplishment and those success, let's not treat him no different than we do Thomas Gay.
Yeah, no, I know, but again, if they called Drew an Eagle fan, if somebody in here was saying Drew looks like this or Drew that, he would be gone or he would be blocked for. I would give him a small timeout.
Drew looks like Shrek.
Well, listen, I got people looking at me saying,
"My wife likes Shrek."
Face. I let him go for a little bit. I'll block him for 300 seconds, and then I'll give him a 24-hour block. Because after a while, it's like, listen, I gave you one chance to stop, because and then you're gonna call me whatever. So it's just ridiculous.
And at the end of the day, if you can't talk football,
that's what it's about.
What are you here for?
We can disagree, and we're gonna disagree. I lie.
Exactly.
And that's fine.
Football. You can't, what am I here to call you names for? It's like, let's talk football.
You know what, like that reminds me of, Drew? That reminds me of high school shit, where it's like, it just gets like you deal with a kid and then, especially in sports, and then they just call you a name. It's like, well, hold up.
That's what it was. Game time like 04, 05, 06, the TTC, Redskins, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. It was just talking shit to one another.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
And they hated us. You know why? Unfortunately, they still hate us. They hate us because we racked up so many wins, over it's been a long time now.
No one hates Dallas. You guys are just as relevant as the Jacksonville Jaguars right
now. I'm saying back
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't pretend like you don't go to sleep thinking about us or wake up hating on us and stuff.
People hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, you're not. I don't see on no Jacksonville Jaguars sites and stuff. Don't give me that.
It's media
driven.
Don't give me
that. It's a love. You would love to hate us.
I think it's media driven because
not at all.
It is media driven.
I agree with you.
We don't really care about it. It's all.
And when people are always like, "Man, Cowboy fans," every time they're like, "This is our year." We don't say that
stop
shit.
Stop bringing us up, ESPN. You need the ratings, so you keep bringing it up. It's like just let
I haven't said it's our year in a long time.
Wait. You guys don't say you guys don't have a portion of your fans that don't say it's you guys' year.
Well, every fan base has it. It's just the fact that America's team is bigger, so those portions are way bigger.
Lead
you understand?
Commander. I agree.
If you have a smaller fan base saying that, it doesn't mean anything. But if you have a larger
the last time I thought it was our year was like 2016.
Yeah, 2016 probably was that year.
You know what? I ain't gonna lie. Even though as bad as it was, I didn't think we were going to the Super Bowl, but I thought we were going to the championship game.
I thought we could get a championship. That's what I was thinking.
Thought.
Oh, no. When you get home field advantage and you go 13-3, you need to be in the conference title.
Yeah.
You need to be.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. All right, so let's get back to some football. I want to touch on some Eagles, then we'll circle back to the Cowboys. Cooper DeJean, exactly what happened, Rob, with him? I know he heard it at home, supposedly. What's going on?
What's happened?
Yeah, that's what I heard as well. Is that that's all I heard as far as you heard it at home. I heard he's out for 3 to 4 weeks. Is pretty much what I heard about him.
Well, at least there's training camp. I mean, what was it? What we hear?
Hamstring.
Hamstring.
Yeah, just hammy, but I don't know how exactly he did it. Yeah, so I'm not too sure exactly how he did it. I know him, and I believe Sidney Brown also. Right.
Damn.
Sat out. Of course, Brandon Graham. He
announces
did bring up his retirement.
Yeah, which we knew that. Yeah. We knew that.
Yeah. So as far as today is what I saw is Saquon had a lot of work today. They said Jalen looked pretty good today. But beyond that, Cooper's out for 3 to 4 weeks.
Lou Brantz, Mark, you timed my bow-legged ass out. Well, at least you admit it, Lou. He didn't know that. But thanks.
I think the biggest issue with that is just the rookie getting in the reps that he needs, to kind of learn the system and they get himself broken in. But other than that, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think he should be ready by the second preseason game to kind of get reps in.
Got him.
And what I did love to hear
him on the corner.
Jalen did a really good job today, where I think he was like 17 out of 21. Threw a nice 30.
Man, take your ass to the dugout. He got you looking. Shit, Thomas. He got you on the corner.
Thomas, you good, bro?
I just muted it.
Pour me a drink. Pour me a drink, Thomas. Pour me a drink. But no, I think today, just for the first day, what was positive is that can be, again, we don't want any injuries, so hopefully that just the extent of it when it comes to him. I'm not really relying on Cooper DeJean that much anyway. I'm not really relying on a lot of our rookies. I'm expecting them to participate and to contribute, but me personally, I'm not heavily relying on him to really make a big impact this year.
Joey. It's really hard to watch a grown-ass man try to brainwash Cowboy fans to keep Dak. Yeah, I mean, you have Mark's that thing. It's like politics.
Look. Mark's got a point. Look, if Dak walks, and we ain't got no solution at quarterback, we're done.
Well, dude, it's just if you walk, you gotta expect to step back. You cannot expect to step forward. I'm sorry. It's like as a Cowboy fan, you have to. If you walk away, it's a step back. I don't care what you're.
I'm not saying Dak can take us to the Super Bowl. He can get us to the he can get us to the playoffs and win the division. But you get rid of Dak, we are guys. Dave Campo years.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, I honestly don't think. I don't know how we could say that. We have a top three.
Trey Lance.
Unless you're going to get Cooper Rush in there, and you're going to literally pay him $10 million a year and stack the whole cupboard.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know what you're saying. I just think it gets done. Let me throw out a weird question to you. What are the odds that we show up and Mike McCarthy has a new deal, Dak has a new deal, CD has a new deal, Zimmer's extended? What are the odds that happens before the season?
I would try to shake you to wake you up and say you're dreaming.
Again,
on my Madden, maybe. Madden comes out before the season
I'm
starts.
hoping
maybe that. I don't even know if I'm doing that on my Madden. I don't think I'm extending these guys.
Well, again,
I'm hoping that's the case.
You can't win in this league with everybody on the last year of their deal. That just doesn't happen. This isn't. So then you're not going to win. Yeah, I think that's the only way you could potentially win is if everybody is in. And then the players look at these guys and go, hey, okay, I can listen to him. He's going to be my boss for the next couple of years. Right now.
Here's my whole thing. Yeah, you're going to get rid of if the Cowboys let Dak walk and you're going to keep, let's say Cooper Rush is the guy that's going to take the reins. Are you going to pay him $10 million a year? Steven, you're going to have to stack the cupboard. around Cooper Rush. You're not going to be able to do what you do around Dak. You're going to need to stack this team.
Just because I need him to lead doesn't mean I'm spending more on him. You know, to me, he's still the same quarterback. I'm hoping that you're actually having still him as the backup, and you're hoping on the potential of a Trey Lance. You know, it's unfortunate, but
Cooper Rush might be better than Trey Lance. Well, I think
I'd agree right now.
Can I ask Phil this question? Phil, let me ask you this question since you are the expert when it comes to quarterbacks. Like I'm giving you, I'm the kiss to
here we go.
Okay. And this is a serious question. No joke. Like, welcome. Well, hello, Mark Holmes. How are you doing?
Settle down a little bit.
Is there really a difference between? Or let me say it like this. What's the in your perspective? How much different is there between Cooper Rush and his name gets me Trey Lance. Like what's the real separation between the two? Because talent wise, in terms of where they were drafted, there's really no comparison. But Cooper has the experience. So,
what the fuck is your problem?
Where do you think the difference is? How much of a separation is it?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do. Is like if you're trying to protect the ball, okay, you know, our team is a great defense. You got Tampa Bay, for example. How many of those years with Jameis Winston, you know, 5 touchdown passes, but 5 interceptions and stuff? You know, it's like if you have a guy that just can manage, you know, there's been teams that have been, if you can manage this team, you will win a championship. This team is not that
manage
team.
The game.
Yeah, this team is not that type of a defense. Unfortunately, I wish it was. That's where I'm with Wade in the sense if you do walk away from him, spend that money on a defense, man. Let's get some guys in here that our offense doesn't need to do as much or doesn't need, you know, it's on the field a little bit more, gets more opportunities because of the defense.
So Phil, do you see that happening? Do you see that happening though? Like if Dak walks,
not with Dak,
up all that cap room. You guys, your philosophy is to get talent through the draft, but do you see Steven spending that money, go out and get you a D tackle?
No.
Go out.
They're just going to spend it. Exactly. They're just going to spend it re-signing guys that they've drafted instead of doing it the traditional way, where use those drafts during their smaller contracts and actually have fill it in with the
instead
needs.
of doing it the way they did when they won those 3 Super Bowls, we're going to do it a different way. Basically, It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, when I look at Trey Lance, I think of I need a quarterback that can push the ball down the field. I don't see Cooper Rush as a guy that's going to push the offense down. Okay, our offense isn't going. Well, we need a quarterback to do something. That's not Cooper Rush. I could see a potential with Trey Lance, but I don't have any body of work to go off of, unfortunately, because if he leads it for a game, he maybe leads it for 3 or 4 games. He has not shown any kind of body of work that says that he's going to last through the season.
See, but Tom Brady talked about this. He says a quarterback needs to be a game manager. He needs to not make turnovers, and he needs to make correct decisions and make throws when they need to be made, and not take the negative play. That's the problem with a lot of quarterbacks is they just take the negative play. They make the turnovers. They don't make the throws when they need to make them at the right time.
Runs out the back of the end zone and then he has the balls.
That's what your coaching is for.
Yeah,
that's why Tom Brady. But that you can't coach 10 Super Bowls into a player. That's why Tom Brady's the greatest, is because he knew his game IQ was so great. He may not have been as talented as Patrick Mahomes or these other quarterbacks that had all this athletic talent, but you know what he did have? His IQ was through the roof. And he knew what to do. He knew how to read defenses, make plays when he needed to make them. That's why he went to 10 Super Bowls.
And he didn't also take on 1/4 of the salary cap either.
Thank you. And so, Phil, would you say there's really not much of a separation between Cooper?
You could go either way. I think you could go either way. What are you trying to do long run? I mean, to me, if you walked away from Dak Prescott, your ideal between the two would to be to give Trey Lance the reins to see if he could be your potential starter for the future, whether it's 2 years, whatever it is. We're going to take a step back because let's be real, man. You can't tell me it's going to be the same level of decision making and stuff. Maybe he'll make some decisions better, but I can't see all of it, you know? So to me, it's worth at least if you walked away to give him 2 years to see if he could be anything. But I wouldn't if you're signing him for a 4-year contract, those years, avoidable years, that's what I would be interested in.
Well, the problem, of course, of signing of Trey Lance is he's a free agent. So if he does play
25, 30, yeah.
Well, the thing is, if he does play well in preseason, he could probably get a decent deal with somebody else. So that's the problem that you have right now. Do you decide we're going to invest in Trey Lance and say he's going to be our backup quarterback? At the moment, they're still kind of on the fence on whether or not he can beat Cooper Rush. And as far as Cooper Rush goes, when you look at the games that he played, with the exception of the Eagle one where he had 3 turnovers, basically it was that kind of game manager. The defense played really, really well. They didn't really challenge it. It was basically ball control, i.e. Bus driving. Now, I
will say though, I think Cooper Rush sample size being as small as it is, I think he looked better than Trey Lance sample size.
I can agree with that too. But the thing is when you do have such a small sample size, teams don't know how to play against you. That's why a lot of times you'll see a rookie quarterback, he'll come out and he'll look great, and then there's a book out on him, like RG3. Nobody knew how to defend him.
Real quick, 20 million freed up if Dak resigns. Coyote, thank you for the super chat. You are in the hopper, my friend.
Well, depending on how they structure it, they could possibly even get more. This is where the whole thing doesn't make sense. But I don't want to take up the whole chat. I just want to.
You're good, Mark. You're good. We don't have any time limit here.
There's a thing where there's perception and there's reality, because I always get told that you're blocking people. See, Drew, I'll be 100% real with you, bro. I ain't never seen you on my channel. I've never seen you on my channel. And if you were blocked, maybe you were blocked by one of the moderators.
Yeah, that happens all the time, and I got to go in and unblock them.
What I always tell people is this. First of all, I have some young kids, like Joseph Heatherly's grandkids watch. I've got pastors and things that send me messages and things. So there's key words, fuck, ass, tit, shit, like that.
Well, there goes half of my audience.
Thank you. Good Thomas Garrett. He likes all of those words.
If you put that in your statements,
get out of here.
There's none of this and none of that.
I think immediately people say, "Oh,
I don't use those words. I don't use those words, Mark."
Okay, let me finish here. Let me finish real quick. So automatically,
Dustin, you can hop in the chat if you want.
And say, I'm up on Dak Prescott.
Zoom call.
Sucking this. That comment won't be seen. It'll be automatically blocked. Now, Drew, I went in and I went in, there's an approved list in the community. Because like I said, I've never seen you on my channel. The only time I've ever seen you was the first time you were on this show acting a fool. Now, as far as the keyboard warrior,
acting a
what
fool.
I say is, if you're talking about my team, trashing my team, okay, that's cool. But if you're coming in and you're just spamming the same stupid comment, then yeah, you get blocked. Because we do have a person out there that is so vile that has literally doused my parents, put pictures of
Mark,
and
he's
everything.
done all that. And then when I first met you, I mean, he put my address out there, everybody. Right. He put my children's names out there. Now, he got half of them wrong, but it doesn't matter. It's not the point. He put a picture of my house out there with a fucking map.
Typically, when you get that guy in there that's spamming a whole lot, and it's like, okay, here he is, because he's got 100 different profiles, that guy might get blocked. But let me be clear here. If you go through the analytics...
It's crazy, isn't it, D-Shift?
The Dallas metro area is the #1 market that I get views. The #2 is Philadelphia. I'm not here blocking fools on here. As a little kid that went to a high school that we only had 90 black people and 2,000 white ones, being called a nigger constantly at 5 and 6 years old, there is nothing that any keyboard warrior out there that's anonymous, that is not even brave enough to come into my face and say something that's going to bother me.
You got big hands too, though.
Yeah. But be that as it may,
his hand's so big.
There are people that are here that aren't here for stupid shit. We have a lot of ladies that come in here. Like I said, we have grandkids and stuff. So I welcome the debate. I go on the Dan Salio show where I know I'm just the punching bag and the joke and everything for everybody, but it's cool. I show up. and even when it's bad news. But I am biding my time for when shit hits the fan for those Eagles. And that's all I have to say about that.
Well, don't hold your breath, Mark. Don't hold your breath, bro.
I was just gonna say real quick.
See what happens.
Okay, you know what? What's funny is when I said last year that Hurts was not going to have a great season and then you guys weren't going to repeat, y'all all laughed at me.
I mean,
yeah, you did that out of spite.
One at a time.
Okay, I was being real with that. That was my honest opinion.
Right.
Well,
but I don't see how going almost 4,000 yards and having both your receivers over 1,000 yards is a bad season. Now, as a whole, as a team, that you guys like to say, as a team,
interceptions, huh?
As a team, we collapsed and we were trashed. Yeah, but if we're going individual, like you guys like to do with that, I don't see where Hurts had a terrible season. And at one point was in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, one at a time. So I'm going to let Drew finish his thought. Then I want to listen from our newest malehead, the Angry Cowboy.
Oh, no, I'm just good. I'm listening to what's going on.
What's up, Angry Cowboy?
Hey, what's going on, Drew? How you doing?
Listen, I re-listened to our broadcast, and I thought your voice sounded perfect. So had nothing to do with the mic, So I don't know what he was saying last night. So you sounded velvety as always. You were golden. So I thought it was good. So
there's one thing that I do have to do in order to not have so much bass in my voice. I have to give it a bass cut. So that's what makes it. That's probably what makes it sound crazy, but but it's nothing that I'm actually
Cornelius
just going out and there's nothing that I'm just going out and being like, all right, I need to make my voice deep or something.
Yeah. Now I have the Shure SM7B. Mark got me into the XLR mics. Now this is the, this is, I mean, if you look them up, this is like the granddaddy of them all. I'm sure it does something.
They're all granddaddies.
But if you know, I'm just gonna put this out there.
XLR, come on, man.
If you know, you know. But anyway, that being said, let's try and talk some football. We talked about Cooper DeJean. He's out for like 3 weeks. It's unfortunate. Since we got Mark in here, I want to pick it. Me and Mark haven't done much together. Me and Phil haven't done much together for that much. But
you're too busy, man. You're blowing up.
He said too busy for us now.
What I would tell you, Mark,
you don't have to come on.
When I call you the OG, it's not because I think you're the OG. It's because if it wasn't for Mark, I wouldn't be doing this. So that's why. You guys have to understand. People go, well, like, why do you do this? Why do you do that? I'll always have Mark's back, which is why I was so pissed listening. And Mark, I'm more volatile and sensitive than you are. Just because that's just how I am. I'm a little Italian, a little Irish. I got shit going on. I can't control. It's chemical. But when I hear
he's like a Mentos and soda.
Yeah, exactly. I like to eat and drink. I'm screwed. But
good analogy.
I just didn't appreciate like some of the Hey, Drew, you know what it reminded me of? I used to go to the vet when I was a kid, and I would see not all Eagle fans, but it was brutal. We didn't have the money to sit down low. So when I was a little guy, my father would take me. We would normally be in the 500 level, and it was brutal. And
I grew up at the vet too, game time,
dude.
So it was very brutal.
It toughened me up. I mean, I'm talking about as an 8-year-old boy, I'm going to the bathroom. I had that. They had those long trough sinks where dudes were just. I know it's disgusting, ladies, but that's what they had back in the day. You just whipped it out and you went. Yep. And I was a little guy, all intimidated. I literally saw a Cowboy fan get thrown in the trough. And it was like, I was horrified. But that doesn't mean all Eagle fans are that way. But I was just taken back today. I was like, my Lord. But getting back to football, what are you looking forward to, everybody? Starting with Mark, since he is gracing us with his time. What do you think, man? What do you think about tomorrow? Let's be positive. You've been negative a lot. And I don't blame you.
Shame, Mark.
Hey, I don't blame you.
Got your nuts in your hand? Your nuts.
No, that's game time. Do you remember these?
you remember his nuts?
Do you remember these nuts?
He just pretending. He just ignoring your ass.
No, I'm trying to mute so you guys don't hear my dogs barking. That's all.
When we went to the Hall of Fame last year, remember the shops they had? The nuts. I found this bag of ghost pepper nuts.
Oh, they're my nuts you got.
Oh, man. Wait a minute. Don't start that because, they'll start doing some videos. Mark Holmes is grabbing his nuts. No.
I think we both bought it.
I don't know if they're still good or not, but these are
yeah. No, they're good. Yeah, we went to the Hall of Fame and they very quaint. It was very quaint.
They've got all kinds of stuff in there. And Joey Garcia says, I've heard Mark call white people racist names. That's a lie, bro. That's a lie.
I would say this, Mark. I think that's our friend.
Probably so.
I've called him out on it. He's been nice as of late, but I believe that's him. So
you got him all riled up, Mark.
I ain't heard Mark say anything like that in the over 10 years I've been watching this channel. You're full of shit.
Yeah, there you go. What am I looking forward to? I'm actually looking forward to just practice. I actually want to focus in on Dak Prescott throwing a pass and seeing, Brandon Cooks catch it. I want to see Micah Parsons out there tackling. I don't even care. I just want to see players running around on the field because it has been so ugly. And, as much as we go through and we give the players shit, the guys that are actually performing on the field, and we say that they suck and they're disappointment. And we're sitting here living through understanding that the Joneses keep handicapping us by not getting our players into practice without bringing us help or filling in holes like our defensive line or getting us running backs that are, not over the hill. I just want to see the players playing. I'm excited to see about Mike Zimmer and his defense and how the players respond. And there you go.
You got Brian's like texting away over there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm texting. So go ahead, you guys can chime off of that. This is the channel member Zoom call. What do you guys think about that?
I didn't mean to jump into it.
No. I don't mind sending you a link. I just know you're busy.
One thing that I really want to see, I want to see Trey Lance. I want to see the question mark that we have. I want to see him, whether it's in the second team, first team, or whatever reps he's getting. I want to see that he got his timing down correctly. The man has an arm on him. Like I was watching his highlights. The man can throw as far as his accuracy and everything like that. So I want to see him have a rapport with the wide receivers and see if he can be that legitimate backup or even replacement.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off that in the sense that wide receivers, I'm interested to see what our wide receivers are because, you have CeeDee Lamb, that whole talk. You got Brandon Cooks, he came out a little bit more in the sense of him and Dak and the connection they had towards the end of the season. I'm interested to see who that third and fourth wide receiver is because it could be, all those years, Tolbert has been the plan, but I could see some of these younger guys, surpassing him and being that number three now that, hey, Gallup is now that no longer kind of being that blocker for some of these younger guys. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if you see a rookie like Ryan get in here and all of a sudden become the favorite. Maybe Brooks from last year. I think those guys are legitimate wide receivers, and at least to me, they're possession wide receivers, and that's kind of what you need your slot receiver to be.
Definitely. I agree. I like Jalen Brooks. Arturo just brought him up. I was calling Jalen Brooks from when I saw him in preseason. Again, us Cowboy fans know what we have on offense. It's all going to come down to our offensive line.
We do want to see what Guyton's got to do.
That's it. It's all going to come down to our offensive line. We could have all the weapons out wide. I love both of our Jalens. I'm telling you, we're fine at receiver, people. What we are stacked at tight end. What we're not fine at is our left tackle
defensive
right
line.
Now. And our defensive line, but I think there's help on the way. Like I said, I did a video. There's help on the way on the D tackle. It's not like we don't have D tackles. We have better than average D tackles when you talk about Osa, who's very, very, very good. We just don't have that trash can full of dirt. We got a couple of young guys, Denzel Jackson, Justin Rogers, Mozzie Smith. If we go out and get another guy who I was telling you that, they're looking at Williams from Buffalo, who's a free agent, and they're looking at the Chargers. There was a defensive lineman. They're both one techniques. Just get me one. That's all. Just get me one, and we'll be fine. Remember, Pro Football Focus, everybody wants to, you quote Pro Football Focus to fit their narrative. People don't believe me, but go look. They had Mozzie Smith rated higher than what's his name that we lost?
Davis?
Yeah.
Jonathan Hankins.
Hankins. So Hankins,
the Buckeye.
Hankins, the back half of the year.
Is that what they were looking at then? The analytics?
Well,
is that
I'm
what
just
it is?
saying.
Makes sense.
You can't have it both ways. You can't quote Pro Football Focus to fit your narrative and then ignore that Hankins was not rated very high. So, in the same token, Pro Football Focus also had our right tackle at a 50. That's how bad our right tackle was last year. So you tell me he was healthy? So
he was coming off that injury year.
I'm hoping it was health. I'm hoping that it's not the offensive line coach, because I know, Mark, we saw a bad offensive line coach. Remember we had the dude, Paul from Cincinnati? Remember we had to go out and get the offensive lineman to come in, and he made a big...
Remember what his test was?
Colombo?
They're not they were a good offensive lineman. Was the ketchup test. If you knew to turn the ketchup bottle sideways and tap it on the 57, it's like, bro.
Yeah,
everybody's got the squeeze bottle now.
I'm holding my breath that Terrence Steele, it was more physical, and I'm hoping that it wasn't that our offensive line coach
big ass contract
is senile or whatever.
Hey, Brian.
Here's the thing, though. It's the ACL.
What's up, Bradley?
And this is the scary thing about Diggs and why they don't re-sign what's his name there, because I'm worried about Diggs. That first year back from an ACL, it takes time to get confident on it. And when you are a tackle and you got to take that step out there, you're just a little slow. And every time you take that step and you feel a little twinge in it and all, you're not quite ready to trust that sucker. And it takes time before you really let it rip. And I don't know that Michael Gallup, we saw he just kind of retired, that he ever got that confidence back and ever got that leg back. I'm hoping that that's what it was with Terrence Steele and that he gets closer.
I think Michael Gallup was rushed.
He was rushed. I agree.
There was no.
I think he was rushed.
Remember, it was CeeDee Lamb going into his, second year, and there was nobody who was starting who had caught an NFL touchdown pass. We had Dennis Houston and guys like that starting. So it was like, I got to get out here. I just got this new contract, and he wasn't anywhere close to being ready. It really stunted the growth on it. And this is what drives you crazy about Cowboy fans. We keep saying they're chokers, but I sit here and I look
and then
do everything.
And then if you remember, when he tore his ACL, that was when they traded Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
All of that happened all at once.
Right. As well as Cedric Wilson, they let him walk. And so you had a complete inexperienced starting off.
I agree, D-Shift. Real quick. D-Shift said this O-line has too much talent to struggle. I agree. That's the thing. When you can say whatever you want about Guyton. Mark, I think what they're doing is just being overly protective. They're not. I would be the opposite. I would say, Tyler Guyton, it's your job. Why? Because we got nobody else on the team. Chuma Edoga stinks. Okay? He stinks. So he don't deserve having any kind of
game time.
Game
time. You've been dogging Chuma Edoga all day today.
I'm sorry, he sucks. All right, and I'm going to tell him.
He's hoping that he says it enough time that it'll be put out there in reality that they'll actually hear it.
But no,
we agree with you, man. We agree.
I do not think that that Tyler Guyton is. I think he's going to be fine. I really do. He's going to need help. That's all. He's going to be fine.
You're gonna be the next Philly 500. Somebody gonna cut this up.
You can cut it up all
Game
you
time
want.
Brian says Truman Doga stink.
Oh, no, I don't care about that. But you could put that in lights. He stinks. He almost got Dak killed last year multiple times.
Yeah.
For a veteran, I've never seen a guy miss so many assignments.
He's a guard. And he had me scared when I went to that Ram game last year because I thought Dak done broke his damn leg again.
So is he worse than Chaz Green game time?
Chaz Green. No, I'm not going to say he's worse than Chaz.
Step above Chaz Green. He's actually better at guard. He actually played for guard last year.
Yes.
He's not a good left tackle.
Actually played pretty well.
That's why I would stick Guyton out at left tackle, and if there's an issue, then you move Tyler out, and then you sit Guyton for a while. But I think Guyton needs to be out there getting all the reps. Drew? But I don't think that. I don't think that he's not ready to, because Mark keeps saying he's not ready to start. Now, you know how Dallas is, Mark.
And RJ, they're saying that they're. Yeah, I'm just passing it on there.
Yeah, but you know this team. Points. I don't like this offensive line coach. I don't like I'm just on record.
You didn't like Tyler Smith, remember?
Man, you better be ready, motherfucker, because I ain't making this trip up to Cleveland for nothing.
Okay, remember.
I'll see you there, Thomas.
Tyler Smith.
All right, man.
Thanks, Coyote.
I ain't going to Cleveland for nothing.
But back to Michael Gallup being rushed. This was week one's wide receivers: CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown, Dennis Houston, and Semi Fioco. That was our starting lineup. The first game. So it was like, we just paid you a $50 million contract. So he felt guilty and said, I got to get out of here. And I'm sure the team was like, yeah, when are you going to be able to go?
Yeah, but you got to protect your investment at that point. I mean, even if you lose a game or two, you got to
Cowboys, bro.
Work him back in. You can't just throw him back out there and then him just be shit after paying him all that money.
See, that's my issue with Trayvon Diggs. Just for the simple fact, if you go and look at Trayvon Diggs's highlights, every time he got an interception and fell to the ground, where'd he fall? He fell on his knee. I checked that every time that I watched. I was like, man, he keeps falling on his knee, and then boom, had the knee injury. So
that's why you don't get rid of Amari Cooper, Jerry. Just because he goes to the beat of his own drum, he produces. Who cares? That's not smart football. You don't trade a number one wide receiver for a 5th round draft pick.
That was a huge mistake.
Kellen Moore didn't know how to handle Amari Cooper. That's why he left.
You know
that's not smart organization. That's not smart.
It's not. They love Kellen Moore more than they did Amari Cooper. That's
what's sad is
they should not fall on the head coach and not the
Amari Cooper, guys.
So we can win a game.
Think about that for a second. You're still paying $4.3 million this year and $8.7 million next year for Michael Gallup. But we said we couldn't afford to keep Amari Cooper.
Stephen Jones is just trying so hard to prove his point, but he ain't getting nothing done. He's trying to trying to convince us as the fans that we can win by going out and getting players for cheap.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
That's what he has in his head, but it's not happening.
It's not happening.
Watch him remember the Titans.
It is not happening.
Yeah. That's the problem. Stephen Jones is this delusional and doesn't know crap about football. He was in he was a ransom because he's Jerry Jones's son. Mm-hmm. So, he knows when Jerry Jones goes, he's going to own that team, but doesn't make him qualified.
But the thing is
question. I have a concern with Diggs.
Business.
Who's talking? I think it was Drew.
No, I was saying I had a concern with Diggs because the second quarterback is the toughest position to play in football, and to me, the second toughest position is corner. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say that, like the transition for corner, if you look at corners, they're constantly backpedaling, right? They're not just taking off and running like a wide receiver or a running back or any other position. They're constantly backpedaling. So that's something that Diggs has to deal with coming back from an injury that takes a year to come back from.
Well, what happened was that second game, we got our ass
and correct me if I'm wrong.
Half, we just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly
So if he blitzes a lot,
offensively.
especially
We
up the
couldn't make
middle,
a
that
first
means there's going to
down.
be a
We
lot
couldn't
of
run the ball.
one-to-one,
We didn't try to run the ball.
man-to-man
We couldn't
coverage
complete
that
a
he has to
pass.
deal with.
We sucked.
So
The
coming off
second
that
half, we
injury, if he's
sucked.
starting, if
We
he's
couldn't
ready,
stop the run.
not
Every
only
time
does
they
he
got
have
the
to worry
ball and
about
went
being
down and got
secure on that
points,
leg,
we got our ass
he
totally
has to,
kicked in the second
he's going
half.
to be
That's what it
a lot
boiled
of
down to.
one-to-one
It was a
situations,
horse
and we all know,
performance in the second
as
half.
great as Diggs is,
I'm totally embarrassed
he
and totally
gets
ashamed.
cooked, right? And he
Everybody
does that.
gets
That's a part
cooked.
of the
Everybody
game.
gets cooked.
Not
But
so much.
anyway,
No, what I'm saying, that's a
Everybody
part
gets
of his.
Zimmer
That's a part
Zimmer
of his.
blitzes
He
out of
was
the
making all
zone.
the
Zimmer,
interceptions, and he did get beat a lot. His second year, he was becoming that shutdown corner.
yeah. I mean, you're going to
I
help
mean, there's
him.
been
You're going to help
times.
him a lot
I'm
with
just
zone coverage. I think.
There's been
And
times I've seen Jarrell Reeves get cooked. So
Yeah.
it's not just Diggs; it's the position.
Yeah, everybody
it depends
gets
on
cooked.
who's
What
your
I'm saying
safety.
is
He ain't the only
takes a
one.
lot of it's
And who
high-risk,
was your
high-reward
safety
with
help at
guys
the
like Diggs.
time? Because
Damn.
KZ was your safety.
Yeah.
With that when he was getting beat. So I think the safety help is also. I mean, I think our safety room is a lot better than what it was in previous years. So you can rely a little bit more on
Right.
those safeties. Unfortunately, you let a
You
guy
guys
like
have the
Curse
best
go.
safety room in the division.
I question it a little bit now, but I love Wanye Thomas, man. I'm a big Wanye Thomas, and just seeing him be able to get on the field, I think is going to be a big.
I love Wanye Thomas.
We didn't need linebackers.
I love Wanye Thomas. I remember watching him play at Georgia Tech.
This is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about, guys. Everybody, again, if you don't know, you don't know. We finished very high on defense. Yes, we had a problem stopping the run because of Hankins not doing a great job, and we had some issues, like Mark says.
I think Hankins was our least bright spot.
He was
that's what I
bright.
thought.
I thought so too until you looked into the numbers. Like I'm just saying, but more importantly, it was our linebackers. We were playing 205-pound Marquise Bell at linebacker because Dan Quinn asked them to go get Bobby Wagner, and they said no. Okay,
we got Bobby Wagner at the house.
So again, we were doing it. What's up,
Game
Elaine?
time. Game time. This is something that Mark always says, right? Stop me if I'm wrong. Mark says when you have a new coordinator that comes in, fresh new year, there needs to be an adjustment period. Right?
Yes.
Right? So what I'm saying is, and I've been preaching this, and I'm not saying, listen, Dallas has a lot of great talent on that defense. But do you have talent doesn't always equal?
No, yeah, I agree.
But Drew,
talent doesn't always
I don't
equal
think
success.
But Drew, man,
Look at
I don't
Kansas
think
City.
you guys have this.
I'm going to poke at you a little bit in the sense
Kansas
that,
City
like,
finds ways to
who's
win,
the
and they have
coach
way
coming
less
in?
talent.
Who is the coach coming into those defensive coordinator positions? You're also talking about a defensive coordinator that comes into defenses that are not top 10, top 15, talented, and makes them a top 10, take 5, and that's
Kansas
his
City?
scheme. That's him. Okay, I'm going to take this talent, put him in a position to actually make a play.
Well,
but now he has a whole roster, and he definitely has holes in that roster. Don't get me wrong, but
not many.
He as a sounded football mind, has the ability to make it. That doesn't mean shit, though.
Remember
he have the
Zimmer
worst defense.
Did. Phil,
Yeah.
remember what Zimmer did when Parcells told him, Mike, I need you to run a 3-4. Zimmer had never run a 3-4. Came in. Remember he did it with Dexter Coakley or Datwin. We had mini-me linebackers. And what did he do? First year, he made them top 15. Zimmer is that good of a coach. It's not like he does not have the talent. You have a ton of talent on that defense. Yes, it lacks a really good one technique. But we'll see. We have bodies there. It's not like we don't
Zimmer
have bodies.
needs two, though. Zimmer,
There's
but
two.
his defense, Brian,
I agree.
He needs
I
two
agree.
one techniques and also those linebackers.
No, I
'cause
get
what
it,
does
but
Zimmer
we
like
have
to do?
bodies
He
there,
likes to
Drew.
come up that middle.
I don't know how good they are yet.
I also think last year you guys lacked accountability with your under Dan Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's also going to take some buy-in from these divas as other people see that with Zim coming in and buy into his system. I think it'll be an adjustment because there was a big lack of accountability last year with Quinn.
Well, you know what the problem was last year was our team just gave up. They got spoiled.
They got
their way,
tired. We got tired.
and
by the end
they
of the
looked at
season.
Dan Quinn as, like Micah Parsons would even say, Dan Quinn was the cool weird uncle. They didn't have no accountability at all. They need discipline and boost the asses.
They need someone to get in their ass.
And that's my question going into the season is, how are they going to be able to adjust to a coach that's actually going to hold them accountable?
Absolutely.
It's going to make them cry.
Are they going to sit there and go back and cry and say, "Oh, well, I don't need to be here"?
Yeah, I guarantee
I'm
one
big
will
shit.
cry.
I'm too good to be
Yeah,
on this team.
if
Or are they going
Mike
to take accountability
if Mike
and man
Zimmer
up?
gets in Micah Parsons' ass and Micah Parsons starts being a diva and drama, get rid of his ass. That's all I got to say.
There you go.
And he'll want that. He'll probably push for a trade.
We don't need that energy. We need players that want to come out here and play, not players that are just going to say, "Oh, well, it's all about me. I'm the biggest player and I'm the best player in the league, and I need to be somewhere where I can win." No, we don't need that crap.
See, they did that last year in Miami as well with Vic Fangio.
That's why I stopped watching
Fangio was too
NBA
hard there.
because the NBA became massive. That's what NBA is right now.
Well, here's the thing. There's two kinds of coaches out there, and we're going to find out what kind Kellen Moore is. I will say Joe Gibbs, who came from Air Coryell, where it was like, we don't really run the football, but like the first modern offense.
That was back in the late 70s and early 80s.
Right. Now he gets to Washington. He's got John Riggins, a bruising back. He doesn't have a quarterback like Dan Fouts. He ended up changing his system to fit the players that were there. I don't know that Kellen Moore has enough experience right now to be able to go through and fit his system to Jalen Hurts' suit, because I look at that and say that's an opposite. I mean, Kellen Moore's going to be doing combination routes and everything else. And I don't see Jalen Hurts. And this, I'm not trying to be hateful or anything, but Jalen Hurts, when he doesn't see his first read, it's like he's ready to take off. He's going to have all these late developing plays. And so the question will be is, will Kellen Moore change his system to fit Jalen Hurts? Now, Mike Zimmer has done a 4-3 and a 3-4. He may be able to look and say, here's what I got to try and make the meal, and try and make it fit to what he has here to work with. He's had enough time in the NFL and enough experience that he may be able to do more than, say, a Kellen Moore at coordinator. But, Drew, you're 100% right quoting me. I said it last year. You're going to have a learning curve with another offensive and defensive coordinator on your team, and it really did become a problem. And for Jalen Hurts, I feel sorry for the guy that every year – he's got a new new system to learn.
It's not easy, man. It's not easy.
Right. And he's still,
and that's what I
one at a time.
No, go ahead, Thomas.
And see, that's why I keep telling everybody about Stroud down in Houston. He's gonna have a learning curve. Everybody got film on him now. He's gonna have a learning curve. You mark my word. He's gonna have a learning curve. I kept telling everybody this, and everybody think that, man, you crazy, man. You talking a whole bunch of junk, or you hating. I'm like, no.
But he's talented enough. I think he's going to
true.
overcome the film that's on him.
I'm speaking true.
Yeah. He's pro ready.
He's pro ready. He's pro ready. Thomas, I don't think he's going to regress much.
He's pro ready. Don't get me wrong.
They'll finish. They'll win the division.
He reads,
but
defenses.
at least Stroud front office has his back. Absolutely. I don't feel the same way about Dallas. I don't feel the same way about the Joneses. They don't got Dak Prescott.
Anybody's back except for themselves.
Yeah. I know that.
So
again, there's a narrative out there. Loyal.
I mean, they're going out getting players that he wants.
There's a narrative that I'm not saying Dak hasn't had a good team. I'm not here to say that. He has had really talented teams, but there's always been something. There's never a perfect team, people. I would say the Eagles' offense right now. I'm not saying how it's actually going to function. I'm talking from a talent standpoint. On paper, Eagles are the most talented offense I've seen, and I want you guys to answer it. Since when? Since who? So that tells me if you're telling me there's more pressure on Dak Prescott than Jalen Hurts, I think you're on drugs.
The Eagles are talented on offense.
Are you saying
good offensive line? They got a good tight end.
Are you saying just in general? Like the most talented Eagles offense, or just
Eagle? I
or
would
just
say,
like
in general, Eagle. I'll take this Eagles offense. You let me know. I mean, I'm not saying I'm sure you may be able to come up with somebody, but the question is, the Eagles are unbelievably talented.
That 2010 team with Vic, Macklin, with Deshaun Jackson, with Shady, with that team.
Close.
Offensively, may be maybe even better. If you have to look at that team, like I would take that team.
But I'm saying
probably
NFL-wise.
over this team. And the reason why I'm saying that is because this team is not. We don't know to be. And I'm being.
You had 2 number ones. Macklin was good,
team,
but he wasn't a number one.
We don't know. We don't know what is going to happen with this team. We've seen that team.
I agree, but on
my opinion, Drew,
on paper, this is the best offense.
Got him
on paper.
In my opinion, Drew,
let Rob talk.
I think there too, which makes a difference.
What's that?
You had Andy Reid as a coach, which I will take over the coaching staff.
Bingo.
Well, wasn't Andy Reid? It was
I'll take Andy Reid now.
Great point,
wasn't
Mark.
Andy Reid.
But Andy Reid didn't do shit in Philly.
It was Peterson.
He never got us over the hump.
Well, he got us. He got you to 4 championship games.
4 championships. No, I get that, and we lost to New England in the Super Bowl. But my thing is that I will take Andy Reid's experience now, but also too, I would also love to have Mahomes. Right? I mean, he covers up a lot of holes that are in that KC's offense. But
here's the thing, though.
Yeah, Mahomes would probably take any team to the Super Bowl.
Right? Exactly.
He's like a quarterback whisperer. I don't know that McNabb would have been as good as he was without.
Oh, I agree with that.
Oh, I agree there. I agree there. I don't disagree.
Don't get me wrong.
Alex Smith was.
But damn, it took forever to get over that hole.
I would say this, Rob and Mark. I was here. He had worn us welcome out, not only with him but with his kid. His kid dying up at Lehigh. There was a lot. He needed to go. It was time to go, but he's an unbelievable coach. Unbelievable coach.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake letting Andy go.
I think Moore agrees. I really think, Drew, it was time for him to go. He needed a fresh start. More egregious was your Super Bowl winning, your actual Super Bowl winning Doug Peterson leaving.
We should have kept him.
Doug Peterson's way better than Dracula.
Yeah. Unfortunately, don't get me wrong.
Put some respect on Sirianni's name, please. Come on now.
Oh no,
Sirianni.
Absolutely.
I hate.
I don't got no problem with
Sirianni. But I hate Sirianni. He's a cocky, trash talking. Ever since he had that beat Dallas shirt on, I lost all respect for him because he just went out.
You talking about Dracula?
You have to have that
Dracula is a problem.
I mean, you gotta have that swag. You want that.
Yeah, but it's not college football.
No, I get it. That don't bother me much.
It just, to me, a guy that flexes when he gets into the hallway.
No,
he starts yelling when he gets into the hallway area, and not like that's, to me, says a lot about him.
That was corny.
Yeah, that was corny. He does that a lot. He does it a lot.
Jalen hates it, by the way.
Yeah,
I got news for you.
He does, because he's a quiet guy.
See, Jalen doesn't want to have to answer for his immature head coach.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Well, Mark, I
can agree with that.
He's literally flicking the opposition over, and he's pulling the coach's hand down. It's kind of like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I agree. There's some immaturity there with him for sure. Mark, but to your point, you mentioned about your defensive coordinator. He's good in the 4-3 and 3-4. I'm going to say, I bet you that Philly's offense will be higher ranked than Dallas's defense this year.
Yeah, but your personnel is different. Like you can't jump on that. Like
even
if you had no coaches. Hold on.
I didn't hear what you said.
No coaches.
I didn't hear what you said.
I'm going to say, even if you had no coaches and they would run out there and just make a playoff to themselves, I think they're going to be higher ranked. Like, let's be real.
Okay,
but I didn't hear.
You can't sit there and have Game Time make a segment about the best offense of ever, and then turn around and make that kind of thing. Like,
to your point,
I didn't quite hear what Rob said. What did you say, Rob?
I said that Mark was bringing up that Zim is a great defensive coordinator, which I agree. He said he's great in the 3-4 or the 4-3. He could work both defenses. I'm saying that I believe that Philly's offense will be ranked higher at the end of the season than Dallas's defense.
I don't know that it will be.
Yeah, that's a big question mark.
That's not a stretch
proclamation.
That's not a stretch because the Eagles still had a top 10
one at a time
because of the talent.
Yeah, that's a pretty big.
I will say that with all of the talent, that there really isn't very many weak spots on your offense. Let's be clear.
Right.
Okay. You should be above and beyond. I still have questions on my defensive line. I have Micah Parsons, who's great, but Micah Parsons has actually slimmed down and lost more weight, and playing him at the edge without having the other guys over there. See, here's the problem that people don't seem to think, okay? And this is Cowboy fans too, because they look and they say, well, Micah Parsons is great, but we're not winning everything. Well, Micah Parsons got more sacks than, say, Nick Bosa. But look at the supporting cast and all the studs that are out there with Nick Bosa. When you got Eric Armstead, when you've got Hargrave, you go out and you get Chase Young, you got Randy Gregory, you got Greenlaw at linebackers. We got safeties at linebacker. So he is not going to be, one guy cannot cover the whole field. But if I have people that are able to give me pressure or be able to hold the line like that, Nick Bosa, quite frankly, only 10.5 sacks is kind of disappointing when you have that much firepower around you. The fact that who on Dallas's defense scares you besides Micah Parsons?
No, you see, you guys don't get to have your cake and eat it too. You don't get to say like you're like Brian just said, your defense is stacked. You guys have a lot of talent, right?
I didn't say.
So let's not sit here. Let's not sit here and act like you guys don't have bigs. You don't have Bland.
Your linebacker who has not played a play. Hold on. I've got a second-year linebacker who has not played a play in the NFL during the season. In Overshow. Coming back from an
linebackers aren't good.
What?
There's a question mark.
Got Eric Kendricks, who's an old guy. Okay? So you're going to I don't know what I got a linebacker. I honestly don't.
I know what you got a linebacker.
Say, Mozzie Smith, they're putting a lot on, but the guy is gone.
Linebacker definitely has to be an upgrade from last year. It can't get any worse. It can't get any worse.
This is an upgrade. But I don't know how good they're going to be. I don't know how good Mozzie Smith is going to be coming back from a shoulder injury after having a disappointed year.
And how are they going to handle accountability?
I don't know where game time, he's out in the sun delivering mail in Eagle territory because I know the air out there is foul. Who knows what toxins he's breathing?
Oh, wow.
I know that our defense is that stacked.
It's a 10 to 15.
Drew, you know
okay. It was top 10 last year, okay? And we lost Diggs for the year. We didn't have a linebacker, Mark. I understand we lost Armstrong. And I mean, I understand, but I expect Sam Williams. We're going to be a top 10 defense. I'm not saying we're number one, so I would have to give the edge to Eagles offense because they are Eagles have the number one offensive line in the league per Football Focus.
Receivers. We're going to do high school more raise my hand.
Yeah, that's I know. I'm trying to let everybody talk, but everybody keeps talking over each other. I apologize to the chat.
I'll raise my hand.
Well, again, I'm shutting up, but he brought up my name. I'm telling you, we're going to be top 10, Mark.
I hope so.
So it's not a hope. It's watch.
But here's the problem, though. If we are top 10 on the defense, you can see Catboy pulling up his pants. Yeah,
well, that's your boy. So you got something you'll have to deal with. Chris,
make the T-shirt, Mark.
Here's the big question mark, though. So Dallas and us in Philadelphia, we're in the same boat. The Eagles are going to a new offensive coordinator, and we're going to a new defensive coordinator. Right. So
I think
the question is how is the Eagles going to buy into Kellen Moore's offense?
I think Kellen Moore is amazing.
Going to buy into Mike Zimmer's defense.
I think Kellen Moore is amazing when it comes to drawing up plays. When it comes to making plays, getting the playbook going, I think he's great at that. The situation, when to pull it out, when to use it, that's still the question mark on Kellen Moore. But again, if you have an offense that is stacked like that, I mean, when you're talking about the offensive line, yeah, you're definitely thinking either top or top three. If not, you're looking at that wide receiver core. I mean, that's a pretty impressive wide receiver core. The tight end, you got Dallas Goedert at least leading the room there. If he can teach some guys, I mean, to me, again, that to me, it just screams top 5, even if you don't put a coach in there. I think your weaknesses, we've mentioned it, is the option. If Kellen Moore can just get away from the option wide receiver and quarterback getting on the same page, I think you'll be good. Drew.
Yeah, listen, and this is why things get me a little upset when we talk about Jalen. The Eagles' offense, even though we sucked the last 7 games, was a top 10 offense. Jalen threw almost 4,000 yards, and both of his wide receivers had over 1,000. And Dallas may have had close to or over 1,000 if he wasn't hurt for a couple of weeks. So the narrative that Jalen can't play kind of takes me off. I don't think it's. But I don't think it's much of a stretch to say that, with all due respect, Rob, to say that the Eagles' offense will be better than Dallas's defense because Eagles already had a top 10 offense. Now,
but everybody keeps shitting on Kellen Moore. Everybody keeps saying on paper,
that's a lot
Eagles.
That's Cowboys trauma. I look at that as Cowboys trauma, right? And but respectful, that's Cowboys trauma.
But I maybe we can transition better though. Just saying because Mike Zimmer has been around the block a lot more. He's been around the block a lot more than Kellen Moore, and he was our defensive coordinator in the early 2000s, and he was on our Super Bowl teams in the 90s.
Who's to say Zimmer is, like you said, he can do both? But we know what his defense is. We know what he runs. He traditionally runs a 4-3. And for him to traditionally run that defense,
he's running a 4-3.
You guys don't have the pieces. And let me say this 30 seconds, and I'll fall back. I would venture to say that the Eagles' defense will be better than Dallas's defense this year, only because, and I've said this again, not talent-wise, but the Eagles have been running Vic Fangio's defense for the last 4 years. So the transition won't be as drastic as
got a lot
Dallas's
of new guys.
transition.
Lots of new guys.
There's a lot of new guys.
I don't know how there's going to be a transition. Mike Zimmer had been a part of this franchise for quite a while, off and on.
Yeah,
loyal.
Okay, so
I want to hear from Angry Cowboy. He's trying to get.
Go ahead, Angry.
Well, I don't know. I'm just listening to the conversation as far as the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm wondering if anything goes wrong, and I'm hoping that it doesn't, because like I said last night, when the NFC East is rocking, we get good quality football. But
damn right.
I'm wondering if there could be too many cooks in the kitchen. Just with, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley now that's going to command some of the touches for the runs. Then you also have the quarterback design runs. What is your identity going to be going into the offseason? I mean, going into the regular season.
Right. Well, and I did hear, from my people that they're running at today's practice, Jalen with Saquon in the backfield running RPO, which if that happens, more than not, they're going to be a handful to stop. Absolutely. That's what they need to do. And people get all bent out of shape when I say that. I'm not saying Jalen can't throw, but if you run RPO, Drew, if you run RPO, let's say 35% of the time, okay, that opens up everything so much, because then my man drops back. And now you got guys running free because you got your linebackers holding up because they're worried about Saquon busting it, or they're worried about Jalen holding it and running it.
Mm-hmm.
That is where your bread is buttered if I'm an Eagle fan. So
I agree.
I think as an Eagle fan, if they stick to that, and that's a big if, because it's not always going to work.
Run game. Yeah.
If they stick to that, we'll see. Problem is, I don't know that Kellen could stick with that.
That's the
key. I'm not saying he can't, Drew. I'm just saying that's what's going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah,
that's going to be exciting. So
anyway. I just wanted to respond to Angry Cowboys fan.
I
think
go ahead.
What you said, Angry Cowboys fan is dead on. But I don't think that the too many cooks in the kitchen had anything to do with the players. That is when you had Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson and the coaches. I think that's where the issue was. And I think that we've rectified that where, Mark is right, where they've taken the knees from Nick Sirianni and say, look, Kellen, you run the offense. And so I think that has been at least addressed. Now, has it been fixed? We'll find out. But I think that too many cooks in the kitchen definitely were the coaches and not so much the players.
And I think Saquon's a very mature young man. I mean, I think he's ecstatic to have such a damn good team where he's not going to be the focal point.
Yeah, I think if you're getting paid that much and you just want to be on a winning team, I think at that point too.
Right. Yeah, you want that offensive line. You want that not stacking 8 in the box. I think Saquon. I think he's going to have a big year. He doesn't have to carry the load at this point. He just has to be a
it must be a luxury, Mark, to have a running back making $13 million a year and not have to carry the ball.
You know, it's amazing that yeah.
It's okay. Rob, you just said it, bro. That just tells you how. I'm not saying how good it's going to be. I'm just saying how talented it is. That's why I keep going back to everybody's putting all this pressure on Dak. Dak is playing with house money. He's got a lottery ticket in his hand. He's good. Jalen has a lot of pressure on him because they're okay. Are we going to have another bad season? Now, I'm not Drew. I know what you're going to say. He threw for a lot. I'm saying the media, the media in Philly has come down on him. How the way the season ended, his lack of leadership, on and on. There's a lot of pressure on Kellen Moore, Nick Sirianni, and Jalen Hurts to get this right. And for your hope, for your sake. But
that's
Mark can finish his thought.
Well, no, actually, I gotta make some calls.
We'll make calls.
This toilet and things, but I appreciate y'all letting me come in here and everything else. But game time, we gotta still dance, man. You still calling me old and needing naps and all that kind
I
of
never said old. I never said old.
Mark, you taking that bet, or are you conceding on that, man?
But the bet that I'm agreeing with you that you guys should be
okay
on there. But I mean, we can. I mean, if it makes you feel better, okay. What?
Well, it's on you, man. I mean, I just threw it out there because you're not too high on Kellen Moore, so I just want to kind of see.
See, here's the thing: that at some point we have to start looking, because we had Jason Garrett, we had Scott Linehan, we had Kellen Moore, we got Mike McCarthy, and the players keep changing, but somehow the Cowboys offense always still seems to be one of the highest scoring. Doesn't matter, we lose Amari Cooper, we end up getting rid of Zeke, so on. At some point, we got to look and say, maybe it's not the quarterback, I mean, the coordinators and the coaches, that maybe a lot of it is actually Dak Prescott. Because Kellen Moore,
cool question though, for you.
Kellen Moore left, and that was pretty good without having a great running game. 36 TDs.
But how much was it?
Go ahead, Drew.
I'm sorry, no, I didn't mean to interrupt. Finish your thought.
No. I'm just saying, at some point you might have to say that maybe it's the quarterback and not so much the coaches. That maybe Dak made Kellen Moore a coordinator, because he didn't show a whole lot with.
But how much of? Well, I think I don't think we can really use the Chargers as a qualifier for Kellen Moore. I mean, that was a whole Devin type situation, but and maybe Phil might be a better, person to go to. The offense that was run last year for Dallas, how much more different was it from what Kellen Moore was doing compared to what
as
Mike McCarthy was doing? Was it really that big of a difference, or was it pretty similar?
Well, here's what Mike McCarthy did. Mike McCarthy said, we're not getting rid of everything. He said about a third of the offense would change, but it was changed to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quicker. Instead of doing so many combination routes, it ended up being more of the timing routes, which is where you saw the sacks go down and you saw the interceptions come down. Because if the quarterback and the wide receiver aren't reading the same thing, the quarterback's thinking that you're going out and he's going deep and we're throwing the ball. There was a lot of times where the receiver and the quarterback weren't on the same page. The other part was holding on to the ball longer was causing more sacks. So now what you're going to be doing is you're going to see more routes combinations with Jalen Hurts that are going to take longer to develop, which is going to make you more susceptible to sacks, and also being on different pages and the interceptions going up.
It's a damn good thing we got to get offensive line then, because if he needs a little bit more time, that's a damn good line to be behind if you need a couple more seconds
it's rated
to
number
let
one
him play develop.
And that's
as of right now.
The Cowboys with possibly 2 rookies starting on the offensive line. Quick hitting things, getting the players the ball in space to make plays. So many times the comeback routes with Kellen Moore drives me crazy because it's the opposite of what you want to do. Receiver is stopping and coming back to the ball. Now the D-back is facing the quarterback and he's able to read better than if I'm running down the field and I'm having to run with him. I'm not seeing what the quarterback's doing.
But Kellen Moore still has some influence in that offense. It wasn't totally taken out. there were still elements of Kellen Moore's offense in that, in the offensive play.
And the play calling too, because the thing is we would have stuff like 12 personnel that we would do great. Play action that we would do great. We get to the playoffs and you wouldn't see any of that. And the trick plays seem to only trick us. We're sitting
so then what happened last year in the playoffs then with Kellen Moore being gone and that meltdown against Green Bay?
The meltdown defense laid down.
It wasn't just the offense. It was all the way around. You know what happened in that game? That game was, wow, we're the number 2 seed in the NFL. We have a 16-game win streak, 16 games at home. We literally have Sam Williams and Kayvon Turpin that are advertising a victory party the day before the game.
Yeah.
It's just the Green Bay Packers. They're the 7th. They're just lucky to be.
You know what's funny about that, Mark?
They overlooked them and got bitch slapped.
But how, again, I blame the coaches. I blame everybody. Definitely. And I say that because it's not like we have had a lot of postseason success. So for us to walk around thinking we're somebody.
Still not. Right.
Mark, we were basically handed the number 2 spot.
Yes.
And
we made a number 2.
And it's that's why when people want to say Dak, and I get it, he looked like a deer in the headlight. I got news for you. Any one of us that were quarterbacking and our team looks like that and we're down like that all of a sudden at home and our defense couldn't even sniff a tackle. People were running free. Brad knows. It was
disturbing. What was disturbing, Brian, is he looked like that after the Packers scored a field goal.
Yeah, I know, and I can't.
Even Nate Newton said that. Even Nate Newton said that. Nate Newton said he did not like when they got stopped, and then the Packers went down and scored points, and Dak looked lost. Nate Newton said, "I did not like that look from my quarterback in year 8." No.
I know, and it's tough. But at the same time, and I have heard Wade say he'd rather have Dak than not, because I think Wade is kind of like me. He likes the 12 wins. Again, I just want to remind Eagle fans that are in the chat and in here that you have to, and they know it, listen, they know it more than anybody. The odds of a wild card team going to the Super Bowl these days, unless you're the Giants, right? It's not easy. It seems like the NFC, you got to be a powerhouse. So the first thing you got to start out with is winning your division. So that is first and foremost. So whether you're a Giant fan, LOL, if you're a Commander fan, if you're an Eagle fan, if you're a Dallas fan, we can't worry about anybody else other than when we play the Niners. We got to win that division. So if we want to do anything.
So who do you have winning the division, Game Time?
I haven't gotten into it yet. On the surface, I had said the Eagles, but I'm going to really watch this preseason, and I'm going to do 4 really good prediction shows of all 4 teams prior to the season. I haven't really let my mind. Like last year, I did 4 before the preseason, then I did another 4. I'm going to do 4. I was all over it last year, but I got lucky, honestly. So we'll see. I don't know how we can have the Eagles winning, but Dan Saleo has the Eagles winning 7 games.
Yeah, Xander got in his ass afterwards too. That was kind of interesting.
Winning 5.
Angelo Cataldi has them winning 5 games. Now I'm not saying these aren't haters. Well, Dan might be.
They're haters.
But
that's as ridiculous as Mark saying the Eagles are going to win 8 games. Come on, let's be honest. I'm not even sitting here saying that Dallas was going to win.
Here's the deal, Drew.
Like 5 games. That's ridiculous.
Well, Mark initially said Philly was going to win the division on Cilio's earlier show.
Right, yes, he did.
And then he turned around and flipped it around and
he backpedaled.
Dallas.
Nobody repeats.
Yes, you did, Mark.
I'm going to stick with this, though.
But
I think the Eagles have a better chance of winning 8 games than Dallas has, I saw a lot of 5 or 7. I'm only saying that. Just hear me out, Drew. I said there's a better chance. Just hear what I'm saying. There's a better chance the Eagles win 8 than Dallas wins 5 or 7. And I'm only saying that because the last time we saw the Eagles, they were coming down the stretch, losing how many in a row, Mark? I don't know. How many did they?
6 or 7.
Everybody forgets that it was horrendous. Now, let's just fast forward.
Super Bowl hangover is real.
I'm not going to sit here and say that's going to happen. I'm just saying they're going to go to Brazil. If they lose a close game, no big deal. Okay, I think they're totally fine. If they go get blown out in Brazil, I'm here. I know what this fandom is going to do. I know, and they're going to be like, oh my God, what's going on? Sirianni is going to be, it's going to be interesting. Now, I think what's good for you guys is you have a couple easier games right after that. I think that's going to help you guys. You got New Orleans.
Yeah, you guys got that first schedule this year.
You know what I mean? We don't have that.
First half of our
out of the gate, Dallas is up against it, right, Mark? Yeah. We are up against it. So it's rough. It's very, very rough. So 500 after 6, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. But I got to go, good people.
All right, man.
I appreciate y'all letting me hang with y'all. All right.
All right,
Drew,
man. Have fun.
I'm going, Mark. Or not, but you're not at the moment.
Yeah, I got the stream for as long as you guys want to hang in. If anybody wants to bail out, you can bail out. I know Phil's probably like, I got to roll. So, but yeah, I'm hanging in here. I'm off tomorrow.
It's great always talking to you guys, man.
Yeah, you too, Phil. Appreciate it.
It's good to meet you, Phil. Good to meet you, Rob.
Phil.
Yeah, very much so. I like the show last night. It was great. Yep.
Respect for the resident quarterback, man. Respect.
Yes, sir.
You guys take care.
See you, Phil. Yeah, if anybody don't know, Phil was a quarterback of the Oregon Ducks back in the day. So, you know, I always break his stones, but Phil's very talented. He's just a busy person, and he don't have a lot of time for his YouTube channel. So then I started this channel because we both started over there, and I kind of grew this. This is kind of growing like a weed. But, okay, I mean, are you guys good, or do you want to keep going? I'm off tomorrow, so we could do whatever. Do you guys want to keep going? You know what?
I may have to jump off a little bit.
Okay.
What happened to my brother Brad, man? Where's Brad at?
Brad was in, but he couldn't get a word in edgewise. So Brad said he texted me. He's fine. You know, I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. I like it when it's like this. I like it when I have to tell people to one at a time, because I'd rather have this. This isn't for me. I didn't really prepare for this. This is the channel member Zoom call that we could all chop it up, get to the chat. Ronnie, what's up, my man? This show could use some cute puppies to look at. Puppies as in women, right? Anybody who wants fantasy football, we're in a league. I'm going to have Mark Holmes build me a trophy, and we'll give it to the winner. The link is up at the top. I pinned it.
How do we join? Is it free or?
Yeah, it's all free. It's all free. Chris May has the link at the top. I pinned it. We have spots available if anybody wants in. We're going to do a live draft, online draft on this channel at some point. And we'll give away prize. You know, it won't be nothing special. It'll be more bragging rights, but it'll be fun. So I'm going to leave the link up here, and Chris May has it. So it'll be fun, you know. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited. Did everybody watch Hard Knocks?
No,
sir.
I love
it's
Hard
good,
Knocks.
man.
I love.
It's really good.
Yeah, it is.
Angry. Me and Rob talked about it. I always had a dream. Me and my brother, you know, since passed away a long time ago, but we always had a dream to work at Valley Ranch back in the day. We we just want to be in the building. We want to work for the team. Now, I don't want to do that. I don't want to handle jock straps, but I would love to be in a draft room. You know, I would love to be. That would be my dream job, man. It's just not even a job. Even if they allowed me to just tag along and just have my 2 cents, even though they're not going to take the guy that I want them to take, I would love that. I would just get a kick out of that. I think that's awesome. So when I see, even though it's not Dallas, it could be the Eagles. The fact that it's the Giants. I think I'm on board with everybody. I think the Giants are going to be god awful. I just do.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but
Joe Shane's days are numbered over there. I don't think they're going to keep him around after this year if he has another shit year.
But it's not great. But I love the defensive line. But man, Evan Neal's already out. People, Evan Neal is already PUP. He can't stay healthy, and if he's not good, Daniel Jones has nothing to do.
That's the guy they drafted this year?
Yeah, they drafted the wide receiver out of LSU.
Out of LSU.
Yeah. Neighbors or something?
Yeah, Malik Neighbors.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, you know, but I'd like the the inner workings, you know. I mean, I'll tell you this, as a Cowboy fan, I envy an owner like the Giants. I envy an owner like the Eagles, because my owner does it. Well, my owner does it now. I guess James is leaving too. Loyal, he just texted me. He's probably getting out of here. I'm going to jump off here. Don't want to be rude to people. Okay, yeah. All right, Loyal. Thanks, bro.
Later, Loyal.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up soon, but, you know, I figure we'll now that everybody is kind of, now that...
Yeah, but the Giants are in disarray right now, so...
Yeah, they are. That's a shit organization. I mean, and it's sad because Mara is a good owner.
Yeah.
But he just don't have the right GM in place.
I like the coach, too.
Yeah, Dable's good. That's why I said just the right GM. The Dable's good. But, yeah, that GM... he's sitting there laughing when they're inquiring about what's going on with Saquon, and it makes, well, I don't really know. I can make some calls. Like, come on, dude, you got to be on your shit. And this is game time. It's time to get going. And for him to make that kind of comment, I'm like, man, you have to be prepared.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm not a big Joe Shane guy or whatever his name is, but
that's it.
Again, it is what it is. And Drew's getting out of here as well.
See, I mean, it's just our team. If I was the GM of the Cowboys or a part of the Jones family, I'd be just telling them, like, what are we doing? You know, we got a good quarterback. We need to work the cap as much as possible and go all in, bring in players, make trades, and do this.
Absolutely, Wade. I'm with you, man. If I was a Cowboy fan, I'd feel the same way.
And it's the philosophy that Jerry Jones has, and he's going to stick with that philosophy.
I think it's a Stephen Jones philosophy, because Jerry Jerry wasn't like this. Jerry wasn't like this.
So more of a Stephen Jones philosophy, being the smartest man in the room and thinking and knowing that your way is going to be the thing that brings a championship.
Yeah, but I think one of the last Jerry Jones, like, kind of off seasons, I guess you could say, where he was willing and dealing, I felt, and actually built a solid team, was like the 2007 Cowboys. It was a lot of free agents and a lot of things moved around, to put that team in place. And I'm sorry, that 2007 team would slap the shit out of this team around.
What's up, Philly D? Yeah,
I agree with you there. I think there was just a lot of pressure there since Philly had so much success in the early 2000s. Dallas had to get aggressive at that time, to compete in the division. So that was a good team. I agree with you there, Wade.
The NFC's down too. If I'm a part of the franchise, I'm telling Jerry and Steven, the NFC's down. Like, it's not like it used to be. Like, there's no Drew Brees or Brett Favre's in the NFC anymore. There's Aaron Rodgers is out of the NFC. Like, we need to go in. Need to make runs, and I just don't. I don't know. I feel like this season's going to be lost. We're just stuck in the mud this year.
Yeah,
I mean, this team this year is not better than last year's team. It just can't be.
But again, I thought if we, I'm not going to argue. I would say Detroit. I'm really thinking Detroit's going to make a run this year. I think San Fran is not winning that division. I don't know why.
Rams will get that division.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know why I think that so much, but I do. I think the Rams win that division. I think that division's probably one of the hardest divisions in the whole league. I think Arizona has a bounce back. I just think that it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. Dallas, Wade, I think we just got to worry about winning our division. And we know how it works, right? Usually the same team doesn't win it twice. But it's just something about the Eagles. And, Rob, I'm just going to put it out there. Something about the Eagles that kind of it could go either way, right? You have all that talent on offense, but the defense is really suspect. So I'm not going to say it's bad, but if you guys are saying that we got question marks, then you got a lot of question marks on defense. So what I'm trying to say is it's wide open. Okay, if somebody gets hot, it could be a wrap. It could be a wrap. And here's
the thing, Game Time. I'm not even saying the Eagles are going to be bad this year, but The Eagles all-in year was that Super Bowl against Kansas City. They went out and literally just pulled out all the stops.
They
like that
won
team,
it too. Yep.
That team should have won it. They built it
Eric?
to win it. They went all in, and they didn't get it.
Yeah,
which they should have got it. That should have been their second Super Bowl. But that's the thing is they're not making moves like they were that offseason this year. In my opinion, I mean that year I felt like they just literally pulled out all the stops.
I think we didn't have too many holes this year on I guess on offense.
I know,
we pretty much stacked. We pretty much brought everybody back. But on defense, I wish we could have did better at linebacker. Wish we'd have done better at linebacker and possibly get another safety out there. But yeah, we'll see. The thing about Howie though is he's never really
will make a move.
He's never. Yeah, he's going to make a move.
Yeah.
If he, 2-3 weeks into the season, if our defense isn't up to par, he'll go out there and he'll get aggressive. Howie will make a move.
And that's comforting. It's nice knowing. Whereas Angry and Wade, you guys will admit we won't. It's suspect. Now I'm good, man. I'm good, bro. It's suspect that our front office will look at our team.
They hear this. They know it. They just don't want to hear anything else. They just don't care.
I know, man. That's so frustrating.
Yeah, winning's not the number one priority in Dallas as far as the Joneses go. They're just making money.
Like they want to win. The issue is they want to win their way.
Their way. I agree. They want to win through the draft, and they don't fill holes.
9-4 against the Birds, Twiz, but it's a team game, so don't mean shit. Eagles defense was 30th last year. Won't be in the top. I think it will be in the top 20, Brad. I think it'll. But I don't know.
Actually, I think we'll be a top 15 defense.
See, I don't know. That's a lot to ask for, Rob. It's going to be fun to watch. Right now, your secondary it's scary. I think the Eagles have to get pressure, and I think what's going to help the Eagles, kind of like our Cowboys last year, is scoring 30 points a game. If your offense is rolling, that's going to make playing defense a lot easier. So,
for sure.
That's all, and we'll see. We'll see.
My thing, is that a disservice to the defense? Or disservice to the offense, not putting them through adversity. Just blowouts is just going out there as practice. I don't know. I just think that like those tight games. I know that year Philly was winning, maybe by 5 or by 2, and people say they're just barely edging it out. I'm like, well, they're fighting for them. They're getting battle tested as opposed to just going in and blowing people out.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that brings that good character. When because last year we were winning a lot of close games, but we're winning against Buffalo, against KC, against Miami, and those are some grind out games where I think those kind of games build character to see what you're really about.
Right.
Sorry, I agree with you there.
Yeah, I'm taking a picture and sending it to Mark. I'm gonna show him something.
All right, fam. I'm gonna hang it up. I got
I'm gonna close this up. I'm gonna close it up. I wanted to ask. Before we get out of here, Wade, what airport's closer to Arlington? Is it? My wife said they're both about the same.
DFW.
Yeah, and then Frisco it's close, right? Or is it Love Field?
You can get to Arlington within 10 minutes from DFW Airport.
Okay, but if I'm, because me and Phil are probably gonna go to Frisco first. You know what I'm saying? So.
You could literally see the Cowboy Stadium from the airport.
Yeah, but if we're flying into Frisco, like would I go to DFW or Love Field is what I'm saying. If we're flying into I was told they're about the same distance away from.
I was just flying to DFW.
Okay.
It's easy.
All right, cool.
Right.
All right, very cool. That's all I needed to know. But all right, everybody, we're gonna end this here then. I appreciate everybody. I thought it was a great stream tonight. We only got $4 in chat revenue, so it carries over. I got to go out and get some more stuff. I got an Eagles bobble. I got a Jalen Hurts bobble. I got a bunch of shirts and a bunch of nice hats. So next time, people, I'm looking to do a live stream tomorrow for my lunchtime chat. So just stay tuned for that. I'm home. I'm off tomorrow. So that's the plan. So look out for that. So, all right, everybody. Rob A, thank you, my man. You always do that. Like, you don't need to do that, but thank you so much. You'll be in the hopper, trust me. And all right, everybody, I will see everybody tomorrow. And as soon as I find my outro, we will be gone. Late.
Alrighty. Late.
What? I'm cool. This is me. We're going to jump on that spaceship and get out of here.
No judgment. Shoot.
Get to smash that subscribe button. You know what? I'm going to give it, I'll give it 4 out of 5 avocados. Korg?
I was raised by avocados.
Oh my God, just kill me now.
Ho, ho, ho.
Green Giant.
Hey! We know each other. He's a friend from work.
I think it's going really well. I know. This is literally the first time I took my gun out of the holster. Right. And that is why we need a triumphant video. What? You guys led us to this. Thank you.
I just realized who Game Time Brian was. I didn't know it from earlier.
You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!